All right. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please. Oh, does he need Spanish?
No, he does not.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Jonathan Mariscal.
Sir, this is case number 20MM260. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. Mr. Fisher, did you want to be heard on probable cause or just on bond?
Only on bond, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, he has a separate residence, and so there isn't really an issue in terms of being in different locations. I talked to Ms. Chavez this morning, and she has advised me that she does want to have contact. She doesn't really think this is an issue. They've been drinking mimosas. So I'd ask for the court to have a no hostile contact order until the state decides what they want to do, and just release him on his own recognizance.
All right. Ms. Chavez, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Could you raise your right hand, please, to be sworn in by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you swear affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Either Officer Taylor or Dexter, have they added another camera for the victim area?
They have not, Your Honor.
Okay. We're working on getting that because per the rule, we're supposed to be able to see them. But the camera's not turned, so. Ms. Chavez, do you want to have contact with Mr. Mariscal?
Yes.
Okay. And you're not afraid of him?
No.
Okay. And how long have you been in a relationship?
Almost 4.5 years.
All right. Have there been any instances of violence between you in the 4 years that you've been dating?
No.
All right. And do you have any children together?
No.
Okay. Mr. Mariscal, at this time, I am going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Chavez. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're also to maintain a separate residence and not possess any weapons or firearms. And I will release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to make sure that you appear at all court dates. Otherwise, a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Fisher?
No, that's all, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a nice day. All right. So Spanish.
Good afternoon. This is Dalia. Good morning. This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line. Already sworn in today.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Romero. I'll go ahead and call the first case. This is 20MM3972. Sir, tell me your name, please.
Señor, buenos días. Díganos su nombre, por favor. Your Honor, is he in courtroom too?
Correct.
Let me, does he have the headset on?
Yes, he does.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me connect to that courtroom.
Okay.
1 moment, please. Wilson Lonel Rivas Garcia.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is a witness present for Mr. Rivas Garcia?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
I'm
Your Honor.
sorry, Your Honor. 1 second. I think we do have a victim here.
Okay.
Your Honor, he also has an immigration hold.
All right. Mr. Rivas Garcia, I do need to inform you that you will not be released until your immigration hold has been resolved.
And Judge, the victim also needs the interpreter.
Okay. Ms. Ramiro, would you interpret for the witness as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Could you ask her if she can hear me?
Señora, ¿usted puede escuchar a la juez y a la intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, please raise your right hand to be sworn
Señora,
in by
por
the
favor,
clerk.
levante su mano derecha. I'm sorry, Ana. Por favor, levante su mano derecha para prestar juramento, señora.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a presentar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Ma'am, please state your name.
Señora, díganos su nombre, por favor.
Yajaira Hernández Crespo.
Yajaira Hernández Crespo.
Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Garcia?
Señora, ¿usted quiere tener contacto con el señor García?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about your safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
¿Usted está preocupada por su seguridad si es que yo le permitiera que ustedes dos tengan contacto el uno con el otro?
No, claro que no.
No, of course not.
All right. How long have you been in a relationship with Mr. Garcia?
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas en una relación con el señor García?
3 años.
3 years.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you in the course of your relationship?
¿Ha habido algún otro incidente de violencia entre ustedes dos durante su relación?
No.
No.
All right. Are there any children in the home?
¿Hay niños en el hogar?
No.
No.
Okay. I'll modify the previous order. This is directed to Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia, you are not to have any hostile contact with Ms. Hernandez. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. And I'm still going to place you in pretrial release. You're also actually not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Very well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Is someone's cell phone on?
Not in here, Judge.
Okay. Am I on hearing it? Good morning. Your name?
Angel Delgado.
Angel Delgado.
Mr. Delgado, this is 20 CF 6783. You were arrested for aggravated battery. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness here in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is $2,500, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I get the case number again, please?
Sure. 20 CF 6783.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And we're all done with Spanish then? Okay. Madam Interpreter, we're all finished with the Spanish cases for today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. You too.
You're welcome.
All right, do you want to just... Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Both of them.
All right, this is case number 20MM3967. Sir, please state your name.
Monsieur Dinon, comment vous
My name is Jean Alexandre.
Was the interpreter able to hear the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor, but each time the defendant speaks English, the interpreter will stay quiet.
Sir, you were arrested for assault, domestic violence.
Je suis noté arrêté parce que vous avez commis une violence domestique.
There is probable cause.
Gagnez raison valable pour arrestation.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
M'a appointé un avocat public pour représenter vous.
Dexter, is there a witness for Mr. Alexander?
Yes, Your Honor.
Est-ce que vous avez témoin pour M. Alexandre?
Does she need an interpreter?
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
did not hear the last thing you said.
She also needs the interpreter, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Interpreter, the witness is going to need your assistance as well.
Ok.
Could you ask her if she can hear me?
Est-ce qu'on attend des juges là, madame?
Oui.
Yes.
Ma'am, please state your name.
Madame, comment vous voulez?
Doit Sinclair Sinet.
Je suis Claire Sinet.
Yes.
Ma'am, please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Levez mes doigts tout puis au cas forcémenté.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Est-ce que vous dites toute parole que vous va dire là, c'est la vérité, tout ce qui est la vérité et rien que la vérité?
Oui.
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Alexander?
Madame, est-ce que vous voulez pour Monsieur Alexander entrer en contact ensemble avec vous?
Oui.
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
Est-ce que vous permettez?
Non, m'appelle, non.
No, I'm not afraid of him.
Do you want to continue living together?
Est-ce que vous voulez continuer pour nous rester dans le même cas?
Oui.
Yes.
Are there any children in the home?
Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui habitent dans le cas là?
Oui, nous geti moun nan kay la.
Yes, we have children in the home.
All right. Do you have any concerns about their safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
Est-ce que vous quel souper ou paix pour Timoun, pour sécurité Timoun? Est-ce qu'il y a un problème avec ça? Si monsieur entrer en contact ensemble avant, Timoun y a un problème ou paix pour vous?
Si ti moun yo ka gen problem,
Oui.
bon, mwen men mon sel pap ka viv nan kala avek ti moun yo.
All I know, me alone cannot raise the children by myself.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
All I know, me alone cannot raise the children by myself.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but I'm asking you if you have any concerns about their safety or your safety if I were to allow contact between you and Mr. Alexander.
Mais ça me demande, est-ce que vous pensez si M. Alexandre a contact ensemble avec nous, le café ou même ou bien le café Timoun yon bagay?
Non, li pap fè nou an.
No, we're not concerned about that.
All right. Mr. Alexander, I'm going to order that you are to have no hostile contact with your wife. Do you understand what that means?
Monsieur Alexandre, je ne pas demander pour pas avoir aucun contact hostile avec madame. Est-ce que vous connaissez ça, ça veut dire, l'aime dire hostile là?
Pour moi, tu n'as pas un contact avec lui?
You mean to have no contact with her?
No, I said no hostile contact. And what that means is that you are not to act aggressive toward her in any way.
L'aime dire ou pas avoir contact ensemble avec elle, mais ou pas agressif. Ou pas agressif, ou pas frapper, ou pas baller, ou pas agressif avec elle-même.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You're not to yell at her, threaten her, or be disrespectful in any way.
Puis moi, les souris, puis moi, faire menace, puis moi, dire, balle coup, c'est le gars qui a besoin pour respecter.
Ok, lui-même, il faut le respecter, tout parce qu'il ne pas respecter, il n'a pas de respect pour moi, il faut le respecter tout.
Well, also, she needs to respect me too because she doesn't respect me.
All right, sir. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Et ou pas de posséder aucune arme à feu, aucune arme qui a détruit le monde. Et puis, m'a mis tout dans un programme qui n'a pas relâché, mais c'est un programme qui est avant jugement qui n'a pas relâché. Your Honor, the defendant says something interpreter did not hear because there was a background noise at the same time. May the interpreter ask them to repeat?
What did you say, sir?
Monsieur, qui sortait dit? Monsieur, vous faites un délit bagay qui sortait.
Ou dit, puis qu'il utilise aucun zam, aucun nan, moi, du moins pas gain zam la caille, moi.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that I have no weapon, nothing like that.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Ok, monsieur, merci.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. That's all I have this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good day.
How about Jose Ortiz?
Can we pass by Ms. Ortiz for a moment, Your Honor?
Sure. Good morning. Your name?
Stephanie Stanger.
Ms. Stanger, this is 20 CF 6806. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence, and abuse of an elderly or disabled adult. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness here for Ms. Stanger?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, can you hear me?
No, Mr. Stanger? No, he's not here.
Okay, who's present?
Is he here?
No, Your Honor, I think G4's put the wrong person in the box.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no witness here for Ms. Stanger.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things, you may do so. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is
Good morning,
Ortiz,
something-
Your Honor. Ortiz.
This is Mr. Ortiz. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ortiz.
I'm doing all right, ma'am.
All right, so you're here in 20 MM 3957. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. Is there a witness for Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
What's your name?
My name is Bryant Renard Ware.
This is not the correct witness for this case.
How?
I have two victims listed, Mr. Ware. I have Mr. Ortiz.
What is she talking about? Yeah, that's him.
I don't have a Mr. Ware.
That's what is she talking about?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Sure. Sir, what's your first name?
My name is Bryant Renard Ware, ma'am.
No, I'm speaking to the defendant.
Excuse me?
My name is Jorge Armando Ortiz.
I
12-8 of 88. 12-8
Thank you.
of 1988, ma'am.
In the right case. I'm sorry. I thought we had gone back to the case we'd skipped over, which was Jose Luis Ortiz. Okay.
We got a couple different Jose Ortiz today. Your Honor.
Hold on.
This is with the J-O-R-G-E.
He should be a domestic case.
Felony.
Yeah, we're pulling it. Thank you. All right. So, but the one that I actually had the Jose Luis Ortiz, is that one coming up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set that aside then. All right. And then this is Mr. Ortiz. All right. This is 20 CF 6786. Mr. Ortiz, you were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting officer with violence, and assault domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, Mr. Ware.
Good morning. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, thank you. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, do you want to have contact with Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, I do.
Are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am. No, I'm not.
All right. And do you live together?
Ma'am?
Do you live together?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Would you like to continue living together?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been in a relationship?
2 years.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you during the course of your relationship?
No, ma'am. We just used to argue, but so when he get mad, he'll just go off for a while and stay and come back.
Look straight ahead.
All right, sir. Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with Mr. Ware. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 will be $150. Bond on count 3 will be $100. Thank you, sir.
So your host count.
2,500. Good morning. Tell me your name.
I'm Vic.
Mr. Vic, this is 20 CF 6807. You were arrested for aggravated child abuse with a weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Vic?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things if necessary. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 will be $1,000. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $100. Mr. Vic, do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
Can I still live with my parents?
If your sister's there, you cannot. You'll have to find someplace else to stay. Otherwise, you'll have to have your lawyer file a motion with the trial judge. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Alexa Williams.
Ms. Williams, this is 20 MM 3984. You were arrested for violation of a domestic injunction. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ma'am, you are to abide by the injunction in 20 DR 4827 and have no contact with the victim. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay, I have a question. My 8-year-old is still at that address with a sitter. The plaintiff, he has gone to work. How am I to get there? Because he's there with a sitter, but she has to leave. How am I to get there? And the arresting officer lost my phone. Now he did put in a report with the sergeant, and they said that I would it would be replaced, but I can't call anyone, and I'm not from here.
Okay, so what I can suggest that you do, I will allow a one-time return with law enforcement to get any of your personal belongings, including your child. So when you are released from the jail, call the non-emergency number for the police department and let them know that you need to go to the house to get your things, and they will either escort you or meet you there.
Okay, is there any way they can take me over there? Like I can ride with them? No?
I don't think so. No, you'll have to find your own way.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
My name is Robert Williams, ma'am, Judge.
Mr. Williams, this is 20 MM 3970. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You can return with law enforcement one time to get your things if needed. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Mr. Williams, do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
Pretrial release.
That's right. So they're going to come talk to you before you're released and they'll explain it to you, but you will be supervised in the community while your case is pending in the court system. You'll have to check in with them every week or every other week. You won't have to post any money to get out of the jail, but you will have to follow the rules, which I just explained.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Brandon Bullerin, not
Yes.
coming due to behavior.
All right, that's 20 CF 6787. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Bullerin's appearance based upon his inability to attend court due to his behavior. I will appoint the public defender to represent him. He was arrested for criminal mischief greater than $1,000. There is probable cause. Bond is $1,000. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Yeah.
Your name?
Davis.
Mr. Davis, you're here in 20 CF 6787. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions and battery.
Yeah.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to Sears. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. And I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 5294. That will be set at none, sir. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Denham Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, you have 3 cases this morning. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them. You have 20 CF 6781. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and criminal mischief greater than $1,000. There is probable cause. Bond on count 1 is $3,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. You are not to return to Value Pawn. You're not to have any contact with any of your co-defendants. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You have 20 CF 6782 where you were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. There is probable cause for that offense. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond will be set at $2,500.
Thank you.
And you have 20 MM 3965. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. Bond will be set at $100. Thank you, sir.
All right, have a good day.
Good morning. Your name?
Teron Burks.
Mr. Burks, you are here in 20 MM 134. You were arrested for trespass in a structure or a conveyance. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Burks? Sure.
Should get credit for time served, no return.
Mr. Burks, do you want to enter a plea this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The state's offered credit time served.
Okay.
Did you have a chance to look at the plea form?
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't had a chance to.
All right. Well, why don't you take a look at it and then let me know when you're finished.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Burks, about anything that you read?
No questions.
All right, sir. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail. You have credit for 2 days time served. You are not to return to the hometown suites at 421 East Kennedy Boulevard. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by June 1st of 2021, sir. You have 30 days to appeal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, good morning. Your name? Ma'am, your name?
Shanice Green.
Miss Green, this is 20MM3971. You were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness there for Miss Green?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to abide by the trespass warning that was issued by Lynx. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Miss Green, where do you live?
I'm currently homeless. I'm currently
How long have you been here in Orlando?
my whole life. Yeah, I'm in between. I'm in between.
Okay. Do you have any intent on leaving the Orlando area?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. As I said, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You have to abide by the Lynx trespass warning, and you must appear at all court dates, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Isaac Murray Williams.
Well, I have an out on bond form, but it's for Aster Levy. Is that an AKA or is it the wrong form?
AKA, Your Honor.
It's an AKA? Okay.
See.
The out on bond case number is 20MM2, looks like 439. Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning.
Look like it had a trial date. Pre-trial 5:15. I don't know if that happened.
Can we resolve it this morning?
Discovery.
Two, four.
Investigation.
Okay.
Prepare for time served. No return. See it. Awesome investigation in the 2020-2439 case is $50.16.
I'm sorry, $50 and what?
16 cents.
Okay.
To the Orlando Police Department. Return is like to Lake Eola.
How many days he has? Okay. Mr. Murray Williams, you're out on bond right now in a trespass in a structure case in 20MM2439. Did you want to enter a plea in that case this morning?
I never got bonded out. That must not.
Well, you were released. So you're correct technically that you never were bonded out, but you were released. Did you want to resolve that case today?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay. The offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served. You have to pay $50.16 to the Orlando Police Department for the cost of investigation, and you are not to return to Lake Eola. Did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
New case, I'll do the adjudication of guilt. Credit for time served and no return to the
Okay. And then, sir, if you want to resolve the case that you are here for today, it would be an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, no return to the AT&T store, and court costs. Did you want to resolve that case as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. 3 days. 33 on the first one. Okay, Mr. Murray Williams, did you read the plea form this morning, sir?
No, not really, but I still have it.
Okay, why don't you take a moment to review it and then let me know when you've finished reviewing it and if you have any questions.
The one they were giving me with this one, right?
That it looks to me like that's the plea form, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, go ahead and review that.
And this is for me to plea out on it, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I'll do it. But I don't have an attorney. Could I
You
have an attorney?
on the first case, I think you have the public defender, and I'm not going to appoint an attorney on the second case unless you want one. But you're going to enter a plea.
Okay. I don't want an attorney for the second one, I guess.
Okay.
I'll sign this.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything that you read?
Yes, there's a right here. And where it says I understand the following. Number 12 says the maximum and minimum sentences listed. It's like a first degree misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail if I don't pay the $50, right?
No. So that is just informing you of what the maximum penalty that you could be subjected to for this crime. But you're agreeing to credit time served, so that wouldn't apply.
Okay. Then I'll sign this.
Do you have any other questions?
No, no, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Are you on probation?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'll accept your plea in both cases. In 2439, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 33 days in jail. You have credit for 33 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, including the cost of investigation of $50.16 to the Orlando Police Department, and you are not to return to Lake Eola.
Okay.
And in 3978, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit, or actually to 1 day in jail. You've got credit for 1 day time served. You're not to return to the AT&T store. You are to abide by any curfews that are in place within Orange County. And you will also have to pay court costs. All of those costs will be due by June 1st of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Vincent Richardson.
Mr. Richardson, you're here in 20MM 3964. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Richardson?
Teaching credit for time served.
Mr. Richardson, I'm not going to, no, hold on. Mr. Richardson, did you want to accept the state's offer of credit time served?
Yes.
All right. Can we take care of 20MM 2774? Mr. Richardson, you have a case that you're out on bond on. Did you want to try and resolve that case today
I
as
didn't know I
well?
was out on bond. I thought I was out on R&R.
Well, all right. Excuse me. You're out on ROR, so you're out on release. Did you want to try and resolve that case?
Yes.
Okay. Information was filed 5/19.
I'm just gonna see if that item will recover.
Okay. 2 days.
On case, the cost of investigation is $47.14 to the Orlando Police Department.
I can't tell based upon the affidavit if they got the candy bars back or not. Okay.
It's like, yeah.
It's $43.02 is the total that I get. All of the 7 of them. Mr. Richardson,
I'm listening.
the petty theft charge that you have, along with the resisting officer without violence and trespass, the out on bond form. Petty theft is an enhanceable offense in the state of Florida, sir. Do you understand that?
No, I don't understand. Explain it.
Okay, so if you were to get convicted of petty theft again, it can be filed as a first-degree misdemeanor. If you get 2 or more, it can be filed as a felony.
All right, that's understood.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still want to enter the plea today?
I ain't go to court because of the coronavirus. I was supposed to show up on the court on the 15th, so I didn't show up because of the coronavirus. I don't know. I was gonna show up to handle that. I didn't know what to do because I ain't get no mail in the mailbox or nothing. So
Mr. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Anyway, I want to handle it right now, Your Honor. What do you need me to do? I plead guilty, or no contest or whatever.
Mr. Richardson, did you read the plea form?
Yeah, I read the plea form.
Do you have any questions about anything that's contained within the plea form?
The only thing I'm saying is no contest. That's all. That's how I plead.
But you didn't answer my question.
What's that?
Do you have any questions about anything that you read in the plea form?
No.
All right. Are you on probation?
No.
All right, Mr. Richardson, in M20MM2774, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got
I said no
credit for 2 days.
contest.
I heard you.
Oh, okay.
And I said I accept your plea.
All right.
So please don't interrupt me, Mr. Richardson. Okay, if you have a question, you can ask me at the end.
All right.
You are not to return to 7-Eleven. You're going to have to pay court costs, which includes restitution of $43.02 to 7-Eleven, as well as the cost of investigation, which is how much?
$47.14 to the Orlando Police Department.
$47.14 to the Orlando Police Department. Those will all be due by June 1st. And then in 20MM3964, I will
By June
accept your
1st, but June 1st, what, next year? Because ain't tomorrow June 1st?
Today is June 1st, and it's 2021.
All right.
So 1 year.
Whatever. Okay.
All right. And as I was saying, in 3964, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. And you will also have to pay court costs in that case, which will also be due by June 1st of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good day. Bye.
Your Honor, Acevedo,
Yes.
he won't be coming due to medical.
Okay. Is there a witness for Mr. Acevedo?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, will you please tell me your last name again?
Or Manikia.
Manikia. Ms. Manikia, I'm going to appoint your office to represent Mr. Acevedo. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that's in 20MM3941. He was arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. He's not to have any contact with the victim. He is to maintain a separate residence. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place him on pretrial release at this time. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Judy Guzman.
Miss Guzman, you're here in 20 CF 6737. You were arrested for battery on a corrections officer, 2 counts. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning. Your name?
Clyde Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, this is 19 CF 9799. It is alleged that you have violated your probation by
Okay.
failing to report as directed. At this time, your bond is set at $5,000 and you are to continue to report to probation. You need to report to probation within 24 hours of your release from the jail, sir.
And that would be today?
Well, you have to bond out.
Okay, well, can I explain something first?
I don't really want you to explain to me anything about the facts of why you violated your probation. Today's not for that. And anything that you say can be used against you later in a violation of probation hearing. I would talk to your lawyer before you try to explain anything to the court.
So I have to sit in jail for something
Well,
I
you
didn't
have
do?
to, you have a bond. It's $5,000.
But you just said I did something I didn't do and I had to suffer for it immediately.
Again, you'll have to have your lawyer file any appropriate motions, and you'll have a hearing on that, sir.
How long
Thank
will
you.
that take for expediency?
All right. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Arturo Fong, ma'am.
Mr. Fong, you're here in 20 MM 3117. This is your arraignment for the offense of trespass on property other than a structure or a conveyance. You are represented by the public defender. How would he like to proceed? An offer?
Yes, Your Honor. He can plea if he'd like to.
Okay.
This is Mr. Fong, sorry, Anna.
Correct.
Education credit for time served, no return.
And where's the no return?
Circle K.
Circle K. Mr. Fong, did you want to resolve your case today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you have an opportunity to read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. At this time, I will accept your plea. Are you pleading no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 36 days in the county jail. You've got credit for 36 days time served. You are not to return to the Circle K. You will also have to pay court costs, which are due by June 1st of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal, 1 year from today. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Blaze Daniel McNanny.
Sir, you are here in case number 20MM214. This is your arraignment for the offense of battery. You are represented by the public defender. It looks like this is a Division 50 case. Ms. Manicare, are you going to enter a plea of not guilty at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McNanny, we are going to give you a court date. And that is going to be in front of Judge Shoemaker. Pretrial conference is June 23rd at 2:30 p.m. and that's courtroom 7C.
Okay, we can't run this concurrent with the other case I got?
That's something you'll have to talk to your lawyer about.
All right.
All right, sir, thank you.
Yep.
Good morning, your name?
James Izquierdo.
How about Mr. Harris? Did that one get taken out because he hadn't been served?
Excuse me, I can't
He's PTR.
1 minute,
Your
sir.
Honor.
I'm just trying to take care of something. What was
He's
that?
PTR. Court order, PTR.
Raymond Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, I see. So he's not here. I got it. Okay.
So you reset for her.
Yeah, so it will need to be reset for arraignment. All right, sir. I apologize. Tell me your name again.
James Francis Izquierdo.
Yes, sir. You are here in case number 18MM10522. It's a violation of probation, sir. It is alleged that you committed the new offense of driving while license suspended and that you failed to notify your probation officer within 72 hours of your criminal citation. Your bond is set at $1,000. As I stated, I will appoint the public defender. Ms. Manikia, do you want to enter a denial?
Yes, Your Honor. There's an IA recommendation.
Oh, I don't have that. Okay.
It's referred to Division 50 with the $1,000 bond.
Looks like this is Division 80. Am I?
I have an attorney.
Yes.
And I see that it is a domestic violence, but it says Division 80.
I have this Division 50.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor. My system is 50.
no, he got Perez.
It's Division 50. You're Division 80 or Division 50? So Shoemaker is not Division 50. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, there is a $1,000 bond, but did you still want to enter a denial and we'll give him a court date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Cardo, this is going to remain in Division 50. Your VOP status date is June 26th at 10 a.m. in courtroom 7C. You have a $1,000 bond, sir.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Your Honor, we have a private attorney.
Okay.
His client will not be attending due to behavior.
Okay. What's the name?
Last name Perez, first name Jose.
It's a felony.
What kind of case is it?
Felony case.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Barber.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you.
All right. Is it Jason Perez?
Jose, Your Honor.
Middle name Luis. I believe that's the one you set aside earlier.
That one is Jose Luis Ortiz.
Oh.
It's Perez. Jose Luis Perez. It's a
Jose Luis Perez.
Perez. It's a felony, Your Honor.
Is it the arson case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I gotta find that one. Hold on. We're still in the move-up docket, I think, right?
We just finished.
Okay. All right, I have it. All right. Mr. Barber, could you just place your appearance on the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Michael Barber on behalf of Mr. Jose Perez.
All right, and this is 20 CF 6791. Mr. Perez was arrested for attempted first-degree murder, arson first-degree, and petty theft. What was the reason for Mr. Perez's absence this morning?
Behavior, Judge.
All right. Mr. Barber, I'm going to find a waiver of his appearance based upon his inability to come to court due to his behavior.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. At first, I would like to make a probable cause argument, Your Honor, for count one, the attempted first-degree murder. Based
Okay.
upon the four corners of the police report that was submitted, Your Honor, I don't see anything that would support probable cause for attempted murder in any degree, let alone first degree. Essentially what happened is the officer stated that he entered the business where I guess he's relatively known. They stated that he was pretty incoherent, is what I'm gathering from this, and that he tried setting some small fires. It doesn't seem as if any of the fires really took off. There's nothing in this report that states that anyone was actually in danger of losing their life, or that the fires were out of control, or that there was any real danger anyone was going to lose their life at all. There's also no evidence there's anything premeditated. We have no statements to show any premeditation. We have no acts by which we could assume premeditation, Your Honor. So I just think the first charge in its entirety, that there's no probable cause there at all, Your Honor.
Okay, state. Sure.
State would argue that because of the smell of the lighter fluid that he attempted to set parts of the building or little fires within the Dollar General, that he was putting the lives of those that were present in the Dollar General at the time in danger, even though they were able to grab a fire extinguisher to put out some of the flames that the defendant started. State would argue that that was enough for the attempted first-degree murder.
Right. So I do think that there is probable cause for the attempted first degree murder based on the statute. If you look at 782.04, the section that they entered is 1A. And if you go under 1A subsection 2, it's one of the enumerated felonies. Arson is number 2. So it's essentially a felony murder, which is first degree murder. But then I think the attempt brings it down to a first degree felony punishable by 30 years and not life. Is first degree arson a PBL or is that a first degree felony? The only one I'm not sure of. Sure.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, Your Honor, if I can moment.
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
First degree arson.
It's a 30-year felony. That's okay. And that's 806.01 1C. Okay. Mr. Barber, did you want to be heard with respect to his bond?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that bond be set in the amount of $5,000 for count 1, $5,000 for count 2, and $150 on count 3, Your Honor. We think that'd be a suitable bond in order to ensure his presence to show up at all the court proceedings, yet not so high to make it tantamount to no bond.
All right. State, did you want to be heard?
Sure. State would ask for a $20,000 bond as to count 1. No objection to 150 on count 2, and 100 on count 3. No contact with the victims, no return, possession of no weapons or devices that would incite a fire.
All right. All right, I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $5,000. Bond on count 2 will be set at $5,000. Bond on count 3 will be set at $100. Mr. Perez is not to return to the general dollar. He's not to have any contact with any of the witnesses. He's not to possess any accelerants or flammable materials or weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, if I may, just because I don't want to set him up to be in a position where maybe an overzealous officer could arrest him, the gasoline we put in our vehicles would be considered an accelerant. Could we have an exception that he may put gasoline to a vehicle and drive a vehicle that runs off of gasoline? Otherwise, he's not going to be able to go near any vehicle at all.
Well, no, I don't have any objection to that at all.
Thank you, Judge.
And then I believe that's all. Anything else, Mr. Barber?
No, Your Honor, that was my only concern. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank you, you too.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Joseph Anderson III.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes, ma'am.
You are here in 20 CF 6800. You were arrested for robbery, tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement, and battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Anderson?
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, I'm revoking the bonds in 19 CF 1321 and 20 CF 2512. Those will be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
On the robbery, it's going to be $1,500. The tampering, $150. The battery, $100. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Carlos Carrillo Martinez.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 6801. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may return with law enforcement one time to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, I don't.
All right, sir. Your bond on count 1 is $1,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150.
Your Honor, he qualifies for PTR.
Did you say he does?
Yes, Carrion Martinez.
Okay. Courtney, is there an updated face sheet?
Yes, he does qualify for PTR.
Okay. I would place Mr. Martinez on pretrial release in lieu of bond. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Justin Dylan Cox.
Mr. Cox, you're here in 20 CF 6795. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter, as well as 20 MM 3976, where you were arrested for battery domestic violence, for which there's also probable cause. Is Stephen here too?
Yes, Your Honor, we're getting,
He's on the
Okay, thank you. I'll address 20 CF 6795 while they're getting Stephen. In that case, sir, you're not to have any contact with any of the victims or return to the scene. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond will be $2,500.
So, where's the ball on?
It's Stephen Cox. He'll be in the misdemeanor DVs. Good morning. Are you Stephen Cox?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cox, do you want to have contact with Justin?
Yeah, he's my brother. I love him. It was a rough moment.
Okay. Are you afraid of him?
No, I love my brother. I ain't afraid of my brother.
All right, sir. Mr. Stephen Cox, you were arrested in 20 MM 3975 for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Justin, are you afraid of your brother?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does Stephen qualify for PTR?
He was not interviewed, Your Honor.
All right. Could we have him interviewed?
Do you want to set a bond in the alternative?
Sure. Stephen, I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with your brother. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I'm going to have you screened for PTR, or in the alternative, if you do not qualify, your bond will be set at $500. Justin, you're not to have any hostile contact with your brother. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond will be set in $500 in that case. And then in 19 CF 17448, I'm revoking that bond. That will be set at none. Thank you.
Set at none.
You have to have your lawyer file a motion and you're out on bond case.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Love you, bro.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Natalie Hedrick.
Miss Hedrick, this is 20 CF 6793. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness there for Miss Hedrick?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you please raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name.
Brian Poley?
Mr. Poley, do you want to have contact with Miss Hedrick?
No.
All right, sir, thank you. Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with Mr. Poley. You are to maintain a separate residence, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I will allow you to return to the house one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
You said I can go with law enforcement?
Correct, one time to get your things.
Okay. That'll work. I just need my dog.
Okay. And then I'm going to have you screened for pretrial release. And if you do not qualify,
Your Honor.
oh, she does. I just don't have the updated sheet. Okay, I'm going to place you on pretrial release, Miss Hedrick, at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Morning, Your Honor, and state.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Perez?
Mr. Ortiz, ma'am.
Mr. Ortiz. Oh, got it. Oh, thank you. All right. Mr. Ortiz, you have two cases this morning, sir. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You've got 20 MM 3957. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. Is there a witness for Mr. Ortiz?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You are also not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in 20 CF 6764, you were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting officer with violence. There is probable cause for those offenses as well. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release in both cases.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon, Jason Perez.
Mr. Perez, you were here in 20 CF 6804. You were arrested for battery on a person 65 years of age or older and battery. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Perez?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Wayne Rowe, ma'am.
Mr. Rowe, this is 20 CF 6805. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, battery, and criminal mischief. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Rowe?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Tiffany Rundell.
Miss Rundell, do you want to have contact with Mr. Rowe?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
How long have you known Mr. Rowe?
2 years.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you over the course of the last 2 years?
No.
At this time, Mr. Rowe, I'm going to order that you're not to have any contact with Miss Rundell. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2, 100. Bond on count 3 is 100. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What about Miss Babbitt? I was looking for Miss Babbitt.
She was gonna be the last one on the domestic cases, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. No, I'll set her aside then. And do I have Mr. Bennett?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bennett, you were here in case number 20MM3974. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Bennett?
No.
Mr. Bennett, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, he qualifies for PTR.
Mr. Bennett, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances or alcohol while on pretrial release. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Lee?
Miss Lee, this is 20MM3956. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. Are you Mr. Naylor?
Yes.
Mr. Naylor, do you want to have contact with Miss Lee?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
Do you live together?
No, ma'am.
All right. How long have you been dating?
Year.
Have there been any instances of violence between the two of you over the last year?
Well, we're in here now for that.
Other than this incident?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And in Miss Lee's case, I do find probable cause. And I'll appoint the public defender. Mr. Naylor, you were also arrested for battery domestic violence in 20MM3955. There's probable cause. I'll also appoint the public defender to represent you. Miss Lee, do you want to have contact with Mr. Naylor?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
All right, so I'm going to place you both on pretrial release. I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with one another. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Mr. Naylor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're also not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you need to maintain a separate residence. Thank you.
What happens now?
Do you have a question, sir?
What happens? Do we have a bond or what goes?
You're going to be placed on pretrial release. You'll be released later today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Cassandra Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, this is 20MM133. You were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Rivera?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give share with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir,
Yes.
did you hear the clerk?
Yes, I heard. I said yes.
Okay, we just couldn't hear you over here. Please state your name.
Cornelius Jones?
Mr. Jones, do you want to have contact with Miss Rivera?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Do you want to continue living together?
Yes.
Are there any children in the home?
Yes.
How many?
A newborn and her 2 daughters, so 3.
Okay. Do you have any concerns at all about the children's safety if I were to allow contact between the 2 of you?
No.
All right. Ms. Rivera, I'm going to order that you are not to have any hostile contact with Mr. Jones. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're also to comply with any DCF requests or investigations. Your bond is $500, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, this is 20MM3979. You are arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Rodriguez?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may return with law enforcement one time to get your things if necessary. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Your Honor, I can honestly say I'm innocent. I did not. My wife didn't want any pictures taken. The officers asked her if she wanted pictures taken. She refused that. There was no type of violence there.
I understand, Mr. Rodriguez, but I'm asking if you have any questions about the no contact order that I've just entered.
Yeah,
Not a statement, a question.
I don't see this. The home is under my name.
Well, I can't make her leave, so if she's staying there, you cannot be there.
I see. All right.
Okay.
He qualifies
does
for
Mr.
PR.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, there's no bond.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Susan Drury, ma'am.
Ms. Drury, this is 20MM3968. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Thank you.
Is there a witness for Ms. Drury?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank
Do you
you.
have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am, I do, if you don't mind. For one, my boyfriend does not live with me. He stays from time to time when I allow him to. I'm the only one, ma'am, on the lease, and plus I'm in a housing program. I was supposed to redo my lease this morning, but I'm not there, unfortunately, I'm here. I'm asking for permission to return to my home and him not come over. Because
Well, I've ordered that you have to maintain a separate residence. So if it's your home and he's not there, then you're allowed to be there.
Thank you,
If
ma'am.
he's stating that he can stay there, though, you'd have to go through the civil process in order to have him removed from the home. I can't order him.
He's not there, ma'am, right now. He's not there. He left.
All right,
Otherwise, I
then you
wouldn't-
can be there.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All
Oh,
right.
you're a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you, and take care. This Corona thing, I sent here. All right, go home. Thank you, Lord. I got my kitties. I got my life. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Yep. No problem. All right. We're going to take just a 5-minute recess. All right. Thank you. So what's that? It's arraignment?
Use bathroom.
Let's-
Kathy.
Wait a-
Oh my God, it's so chaotic out there.
I know. I hear Andy, I hear Mike. I hear both of them, they just,
I'm like, what in the world are y'all out here arguing about?
They was in the fourth, the other guy here, but it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
He was,
They done drug him down here.
Yeah.
They ain't even his name.
oh well.
Oh, man. See, that's what happened too. When you got 15 people pulling.
Yeah.
You got 20 people pulling people places. you
And
don't
then they
know
missed,
where they
yeah.
going at. They just took a break. 5 minutes.
5-minute break.
it ain't.
My bad, man. I thought.
He got his
Yeah, the shake, are we done?
That's why, yeah. Come on, I can put him out there, I be like, leave
Yeah,
him alone.
leave him alone.
Just leave
I
him.
know where he
Yeah.
at.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell you, hey, he in
Yeah.
sex cell right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just leave him alone.
I'm like, you just,
They're like, what do you want? No, I don't care if it's 100 people, I get it. I don't care if I'm messing with you.
it do mess you up your
I know
routine.
who here,
Yeah.
who where here.
I be like, this guy ain't come, he behaved with this guy, man. Governor did that to me one time. She messed around and brought up almost all of them. I just totally messed up then.
Cause you have a routine, then you know who you picked up and who you
I
didn't.
totally been
Who
all right.
wasn't coming, who not coming.
Because it's in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy, yeah, I know him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know who picked what up. Who coming, who ain't.
When I was coming in, when we picked up the one Charlie, you know we had like 4 more to get.
Yeah.
Jay said, we got.
Yeah.
Oh man. It wasn't here. I was like, oh my, go downstairs.
Hello.
I just reread it.
We're back. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was rolling, man.
Whenever you guys are ready.
You ready?
Someone's calling you.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name, please?
Logan Turrentine.
Mr. Turrentine, this is 20MM 456. You are arrested for assault domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Are there any witnesses for Mr. Turrentine?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victims. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may return to the house one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. Did you have any questions about the no contact order?
I don't, there was no violence. All I did was knock on the door.
I understand, sir, but did you have any questions about the order that you just signed?
No.
All right, and I will place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Henry Vasquez.
Mr. Vasquez, this is 20MM 3973. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Vasquez?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need to return to the home one time with the police to get your things, you may do so. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and I'll place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Iris Cepeda.
Ms. Cepeda, this is 20MM 3969. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Cepeda?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, or ma'am, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may go back to the house one time with the police to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. And does she qualify for PTR?
She does, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay.
We're bringing Babbitt up, Your Honor.
Who? Oh, Babbitt.
Yes.
Have it a reset, Your Honor?
Yes. If they consider for mental health PTR, but it's my understanding she didn't qualify, so they need a bond set. Courtney, do you have any information, this is 20 CF 6765, as to why she did not qualify for PTR?
It just states that she didn't meet the criteria for mental health PTR.
Does she qualify for PTR?
She does, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Tammy Babbitt.
Miss Babbitt, you are here in 20 CF 6765. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It looks like yesterday when you saw Judge Arendis, she found probable cause and ordered you not to have any hostile contact with the victim. I'm going to add you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay.
All right, you'll be released later today.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Avon Carroll.
Mr. Carroll, you have two cases this morning. I will appoint the public defender to represent you on both. You have 20 CF 5613 and 20 CF 5284. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in both cases for failing to register as required.
Yeah, the pandemic, there was an
Your
open.
bond, sir, on 5613 is going to be
Miss Judge Carter, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
The pandemic, I couldn't go down. I've been registering for 17 years. I've never failed to register. They got the pandemic going on. Nobody was down there. That's not my fault.
I understand, sir. I'm not here to adjudicate whether or not you committed the offense today, sir. I'm just letting you know what you were arrested for and setting the conditions of your release. So you're going to
Okay.
want to talk to your lawyer about that as a potential defense for your case later.
Well, could I get an R&R? Because it's not my fault. I didn't create the pandemic. Nobody was down there to register with. That's not my fault. I've never failed to register. I've been registered for 17 years. I've never failed to register. I have two kids at home by themselves and everything. I went to jail yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Mr. Carroll, you understand when you are released from the jail that you do also have reporting requirements upon your release from the jail?
Yes, ma'am, no problem. I can do that. Thank you. That won't be a problem, Judge Carter.
See any that your registers in our system.
I don't see any in his history either.
Never. I'm faithful. I follow the law. I don't.
Mr. Carroll, where do you live?
44 South Calhoun Avenue, Maitland, Florida, 32751, apartment B.
Are you able to work right now?
Yes, ma'am. I would do day labor. You know, with the pandemic, it's been an issue, but the day labor is still going on. It's just not as fluent as it used to be.
Okay. Mr. Carroll's never failed to appear for court in the past. All right, Mr. Carroll, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance as to each case. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond form
Thank
at
you.
this time. You do have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail, so you're going to want to figure out exactly what you need to do so that you don't end up with a third failure to report.
Okay, so I'll be getting out later on this evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Judge Carter.
Make sure you report.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Jaquie Clark, bonded.
Okay. Good afternoon, your name?
Alexander Johnston.
Mr. Johnston, this is 20 CF 6774. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance and petty theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victims in this case. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. I am revoking the bond in 19 CF 1780. That's going to be set at none, sir. Thank you.
What was that, ma'am? So I have no bond?
Correct. You'll need to contact Mr. Lightfoot, your attorney in that case, and have him file a motion.
Now, I have a question. So I have a grandma I take care of, and I have a job, and if I don't get home, my stuff will be kicked out, and I'll have no belongings. There's nothing that I've loyal. I've been on bond for a year. I've never gotten no trouble. I have court the 10th, and I'm taking a plea then. And I just need to get my situation taken care of before I plea, and then I'm looking at 6 months.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to change my mind on the bond, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, Jose Perez will not be, never mind.
Thank you, Officer Taylor. This is Mr. Mobley.
Yes, ma'am.
Please come forward. This is 20 CF 6792. Sir, you were arrested for falsely personating an officer and carrying a concealed weapon. State, do you have any additional information?
State's requesting 24 hours. I already emailed the officer this morning. I have not heard back.
Okay.
I did email them saying that we were no question.
Yeah, and I'm trying to understand I was in the protest. I'm trying to understand what was I doing
so Mr.
wrong.
Mobley, I don't know. The information that I have is incomplete, so I can't.
Same
I
old
don't know.
line. The officer who charged me is not even arresting an officer. Nobody knows what's going on. I was protesting and I was dressed. That was it. I wasn't hurting anyone or anything.
Mr. Mobley, listen, I don't want you to talk to me today about the facts of your case. Everything is being recorded that we're saying, and it could be used against you later. Okay, so and today's not the day to dispute whether you did or you didn't do anything. I'm just letting you know why you were arrested. Let me explain something procedurally to you right now. So, because the information that I have is incomplete, the state is requesting, and they've been granted 24 hours to provide additional information regarding the details of your arrest, because as it stands now, there is no probable cause for your arrest.
Correct.
All right?
So I don't understand.
Well, Mr. Mobley, just let me finish explaining to you so you can try to understand.
But
all
I'm
right?
on probation and I didn't do anything wrong.
Mr. Mobley, please let me explain, otherwise I'm just going to end the hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the state has 24 hours to provide the additional information. At this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay the bond on each count. So bond on count 1 is $1,000, bond on count 2 is $100. If the state is unable to provide the additional information by tomorrow, you will be released as to this case. Do you understand?
But what about my probation? They have a 5-day hold on me.
Well, I can't remove the 5-day hold. That's a violent felony offender hold.
But I'm not on violent offender probation, ma'am.
That's a legal issue that you have to talk to your lawyer about, but it's the type of charge which would trigger the hold. So you're going to have to talk to your lawyer about those things. Courtney, if there was no PC, then would that hold disappear?
The hold will still remain until we hear from DLC to remove it.
Okay, so they're gonna have to hear back from probation as to what they want to do. I understand you're frustrated, sir. You'll need to talk to your lawyer that I've appointed to you, and you'll be brought back to court tomorrow on this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Your
Oh,
Honor,
Ms. Perkins?
Your Honor, the next person, Perkins, bonded.
Okay. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Christopher Sotomayor.
Sir, this is 20 CF 6796. You were arrested for burglary of a structure, possession of burglary tools, grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle, grand theft third degree, resisting officer without violence, and criminal mischief less than $200. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to Paul Wilson Plumbing. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $3,500. Bond on counts 2 and 3 and 4 is $150. 5 and 6 is $100. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Taquan Stefimo.
Mr. Savine, this is 20 CF 6784. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the Orlando Jewelry. You're not to have any contact with the witnesses or possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $3,500. Bond on count 2 is $100. I am revoking the bond in 20 CF 3949. That will be set at none, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
My name is John Barkley Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, this is 20 CF 6788. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence and grand theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the Walmart.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank you,
You need
Your
to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're to appear at all court dates, sir.
Yes, ma'am, I will. You count on it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Dante Sylvester, behavior.
All right, I'm finding a waiver of Mr. Sylvester's appearance based upon his inability to come to court due to his behavior. In 20 CF 6776, he was arrested for petty theft, burglary of an occupied structure, resisting officer without violence, and criminal mischief. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him. He's not to return to the scene. He's not to have any contact with any of the witnesses or victims, or possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is $1,000. Bond on count 2, $5,000. Bond on count 1 is $100. Bond on count 2 is $5,000. Bond on count 3, $100. Bond on count 4, $100. I'm revoking the bond in 16 CF 7301. That'll be set at none. Oh, that's a PTD case. I'm not going to take any action on that. In CF 7301. We can file a motion on that. All right. Mr. Toller?
He will not be attending due to behavior.
All right, I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Toller's appearance based upon his behavior and inability to come to court in 20 CF 6775. He was arrested for burglary of an occupied structure, criminal mischief, petty theft, and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. He's not to return to the scene or have any contact with the witnesses or the victims or possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to stay the bond as to each count. Are you Mr. Vincent?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested in 20 CF 6773 for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer with a firearm. 3 counts, possession of a firearm and the commission of a felony, and shooting from a vehicle within 1,000 feet of a person. I'm having a problem with the affidavit in this case in terms of the counts, because I feel like the affidavit is vague as to who the officers were, how many were there. Am I missing something?
Additional 1 count. PC for 1 ag assault on Leo. No PC for counts 2 and 3. Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Vincent,
Yes, ma'am.
your bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. You're going to be released ROR on counts 2 and 3. Count 4, your bond is $150. Count 5, your bond is $150. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm also going to place you on pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Marcelli Willis, behavior.
All right, I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Willis's behavior in 20 CF 6785. He was arrested for resisting officer without violence, burglary of a structure. I'll appoint the public defender. There is probable cause. He's not to return to the Orlando jewelry. He's not to have any contact with witnesses or the victims or possess any weapons or firearms. And I'll stay the bond as to each count.
The next person on the docket, Susan LaRose, bonded.
Okay. Good afternoon, your name?
Hernan Aguirre.
Mr. Aguirre, you're here in 20 MM 3977. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence, disorderly intoxication, and violating the curfew.
I didn't
There
know
is
there was a-
probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
Is there an offer for Mr. Aguirre?
Adjudication of guilt. Credit for time served.
Abide by the emergency order.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Aguirre, did you want to resolve your case this afternoon?
It's because I didn't know it was a curfew.
I understand, sir. The state has made an offer. If you want to enter a plea of an adjudication of guilt as to each count, credit for time served, and you must abide by the emergency curfew order. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you want to accept that offer?
What is the offer again? I got time
It's an
served.
adjudication of guilt and credit for time served.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
No.
Your Honor, are you appointing the PD for this one?
I'm not going to, no.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Aguirre, you just let me know when you finish reading and if you have any questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sir, did you have any questions?
No,
Okay. Are you on probation?
no,
Mr. Aguirre, did you want to plead no contest at this time?
yes, no contest.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty as to each count, sentence you to 1 day in jail. You've got credit for 1 day time served. You also need to abide by the emergency curfew order. And I believe that's from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
And, okay,
Okay?
yes, ma'am.
You'll also have to pay court costs. Those will be due by June 1st of 2021. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court.
Okay,
Thank you.
Do I have bond or do I get released?
You'll be released today. Your case is over.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Deandra Bowen, behavior.
All right, I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Bowen's appearance based upon his behavior and inability to come to court in 20 MM 455. He was arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to stay the bond. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 6468. That'll be set at none. And in 20 CF 6655, that'll also be set at none. Good afternoon. Your name?
Good afternoon, Arthur Brown.
Mr. Brown, you have 3 cases this afternoon, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them. All right, in 20 MM 3961, you were arrested for resisting officer without violence and loitering or prowling. And there is a probable cause, sir. I'm going to appoint the public defender. As I said, you're not to return to 4095 Millennia Boulevard. That's the Jared's Jewelry Store.
Sure. Well, I was never there. What?
Your bond is $500 on count 1, $100 on count 2. And then you have an out-of-county violation of probation on Osceola County. Based upon the facts contained in the new law offense, I'm going to set bond at none in that matter. And then in the other case, it looks like it's a Seminole County probation case. And the probable cause for the violation is, again, the new law offense. And I'm going to set bond at none in that matter as well. Mr. Brown, I've appointed the public defender here in Orange County to assist you. They'll be able to coordinate with Osceola and Seminole County on your violations of probation.
Could I speak, please? I have a question.
Mr. Brown, I don't have a problem with you asking a question. I just don't want you to say anything that could be used against you
Of
later
course.
about your case.
Never. I'm actually off of that Seminole County probation. That probation had a curfew. I've been off that probation for about a week now. I'm not sure if they put it in. They said that is the reason they arrested me. They said they would have really let me go if it wasn't for that curfew, but I'm actually off of that curfew probation, which is Seminole County. And I also was never at Jared. I don't know what.
Your Honor, would you consider no action on that one?
I asked that they please contact my probation officer or whoever. I was finished with that.
All right. Well, I'm going to have
Like, I'm not sure. I think in their system it says it ends June, but I know for a fact I ended that before this even happened.
it appears that it should have ended in May.
Is that, see, it's a big communication. See, when they were booking
Well,
me,
that's just the Seminole County case. So I'm going to leave things the way that they are. Ms. Manikay, your office can contact Seminole County if that is in fact the case, then that hold will be lifted. Okay, but you'll still have to have the Osceola County issue dealt with as well as the Orange County.
once I pay that, you said there's no bond for that. So once I pay the bond for those cases here, what are they going to transfer me, or how would that work?
So they're not transporting anyone right now. So what will happen is your public defender here in Orange County is going to need to communicate with Osceola County on your Osceola County probation case to see if they'd like to give you a bond or to get you a hearing.
Okay. But if it
Thank
all
you, sir.
just,
Good afternoon, your name?
Justin Higgins.
Mr. Higgins, you are here in 20 MM 3983. You were arrested for violation of the emergency order curfew and disorderly conduct. Is there any additional information on Mr. Higgins?
No, Your Honor, no objection to ROR for no PC.
Okay. Mr. Higgins, at this time, the information contained in the arrest affidavit is incomplete. I don't find that there's probable cause for your arrest. You're going to be released on your own recognizance at this time. That doesn't mean that the city cannot charge you later. So you may get something in the mail regarding this case.
Can I get the case number, Your Honor?
Okay.
It's 20. Oh, it's not a city case. It's a misdemeanor. 20 MM 3983. So you may get a summons to appear in court later.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Lang?
Name, Mr. Lang?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. You are here in 20 MM 454. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. You're not to return to the scene, Domino's Pizza or ABC. You're not to have any contact with your co-defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming there's no offer for Mr. Lang. I'm going to stay the bond at this time, and I'm going to revoke the bond in 20 MM 3125 and 20 MM 3401. Those are going to be set at none. Thank you, sir.
Wait a minute. That's Estelita?
Good afternoon. Your name?
Demetrius Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Your Honor, may we be heard on a PC challenge?
Sure. Let me just call the case. It's 20 CF 6735. He was arrested. So you were arrested for 2 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, tampering with physical evidence, fleeing and eluding, and resisting officer without violence. Ms. Manikia, go ahead.
Thank you. As to count 5 and 6, tampering with physical evidence and fleeing, attempting to elude police officers. Our PC challenge for fleeing is that there's conclusory statements in the affidavit.
Specifically what?
Let me get there. It says that the client jumped out of the car and began running. There's a conclusory statement that he eluded Leo's in his car.
Okay.
And then as to the tampering charge, the alleged victim said that the defendant had a gun, but they did not find a gun on his person or in his car. And there's nothing in the affidavit that says what he did to tamper the evidence.
Hey, did you have any additional information? I know this was reset from yesterday.
No objection, no PC for those 2 counts, Your Honor.
Okay. So,
I did follow up this morning, and there was still no response from the officer.
okay. So, Mr. Davis, the state has not been able to establish probable cause for counts 5 and 6. So you will be released on your own recognizance as to those counts. Count 1, your bond is going to be $3,500. Count 2, $150. Count 3, $150. Count 4, $150. And count 7, $100. Sir, you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Lavaris Foster, hospital.
Foster?
Yes.
I don't have that case.
Trespass and a possession of paraphernalia.
Could I get a case number?
20 MM 132 We didn't receive it this morning. Downstairs at 3:30, and they said
Courtney, do you know what happened to Mr. Foster?
Yesterday looks like it was refused. Today's hospital.
Okay. The clerk's telling me that we were told to remove him off the list.
we said to release my hospital.
I'm just gonna look at it.
So get up.
Miss Manikia, I'm gonna appoint your office to that case. Can I just do his IA? On 132 on Mr. Foster's case? Okay, so I'm gonna appoint your office. Do you wanna just waive his appearance?
Sure, we waive his appearance, Your Honor.
Okay. There is probable cause for each of the offenses, which is resisting officer without violence and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to release him on his own recognizance at this time. He's not to return to any UCF properties and appear at all court dates.
And then he had an open case, Your Honor.
What's the open case?
2020.
What is it?
2020 CF 00328580.
Possession of cocaine.
I'm going to take no action on that case. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Basilio Matias.
Mr. Matias, you're here in 20 MM 3953. You were arrested for petty theft. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Matias? All right. Mr. Matias, you are going to be released on your own recognizance at this time. You are not to return to CVS, and you are to appear at all court dates, sir.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Robert Morris, medical.
All right. And Ms. Manica, I'm going to appoint your office to represent him. Did you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And that's 20 MM 3952, Mr. Morris, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to release him on his own recognizance at this time. He's to appear at all court dates. Medical. Good afternoon, your name?
Jorge Rivera, 1103.
Mr. Rivera, this is 20 CF 6761. It's like this case was reset as to probable cause.
Reach out to the ASA that covered this weekend. He said he'd reach out to the officer. There's still been no response, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Rivera, at this time, the state has not provided the additional information required to establish probable cause in this case, so you will be released on your own recognizance. That does not mean that the state of Florida cannot file charges later on. And so it's possible that in the future there'll be a warrant for your arrest related to these charges.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell me your name, please.
Larry Jones, May 19th.
Mr. Jones, you are here in 17 CF 12175 for allegedly violating your probation for failing to pay $20 per month for your cost of supervision, failing to complete your job search logs, and for failing to make your restitution payments. Your bond at this time is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes,
You'll
ma'am.
see Judge Whitehead in the next week or so.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Daniel Humphreys, ma'am.
How about Mr. Esla Valeon?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. And Aurelio Garcia bonded?
Inmate number, Your Honor?
200-12785.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Did you say you're Mr. Humphreys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. You are here in 20 MO 604. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. State, did you have any additional information?
I'm sorry, what's this defendant's name?
Daniel Humphreys, it's an MO case.
604, you said?
604.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
No objection to ROR, Your Honor.
Mr. Humphreys, there is not probable cause in this case. So at this time, you will be released on your own recognizance. You could receive a summons from the city of Orlando in the future regarding this case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Hi, Justin Johnston.
All right, Mr. Johnson, this is 20 MO 605. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. Again, state it's the same affidavit, it appears.
No objection to ROR, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Johnson, just as I told Mr. Humphreys, in this case, there's not probable cause to substantiate your arrest, so you'll be released on your own recognizance. You may get a summons to appear in court at a later date.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How about Mr. Thayer? Bonded?
You have an image.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
José Carlos Canales.
All right, so you're here in case number 2020 CF 6871AO. You're arrested for battery, domestic violence, and abuse of an elderly or disabled adult. If you find probable cause for those offenses, I will appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Is there any witnesses present today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Canales, I am going to have you sign the no contact order form. I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. A judge will have to change that in writing. Did you understand everything in the no contact order form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence from the victim. If you need to return with law enforcement, you must go with law enforcement one time to get any personal belongings that you may need. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Do we know if he will qualify for pretrial release?
He did not qualify. The defendant refused to answer the questions of pretrial release.
Okay, so Mr. Canales, if you want to be released without a monetary bond, you'll have to comply with any interview. So what I will do is, in the alternative, the bond on count 1 will be $100, count 2 will be $1,500, or pretrial release on each count if you qualify. So you'll have to comply with any interview if you do not want to pay a monetary bond. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name, please?
Isela Lopez Querales.
Okay, ma'am, you're here in 2020 MM 3995AO. You're charged with domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office. Is there a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I am ordering that there's no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. That will need to be changed in writing by a judge. I'll have you sign the no contact order form. Did you understand everything in that form, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence from the victim. If you need to return back to the residence to get personal belongings, you may go one time with law enforcement. You're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply with those conditions. Good luck. Thank you. Is this the last Spanish?
It's one more, Your
One more after this?
Honor. No. This
Last one, okay. Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you. I'm gonna, oh, I thought you were talking to me. Okay. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Luis Alfredo Castro.
All right, Mr. Castro, you're here in case number 2020 CF 6857AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Does Mr. Castro qualify for pretrial release?
He did not qualify due to unable to verify his community ties and high RA score.
Okay, Mr. Castro, I'm going to release you ROR. That means that you're not going to have to post a bond, but you're promising to appear back to court should you be charged and need to come back to court. Okay, do you understand?
Well, what does that mean? That I get out tonight?
Yeah, you will get out today. You need to come back to court when you're required to come back to court. I don't know when that will be. I'm going to order that you contact your public defender. They're going to give you a piece of paper with a phone number on it within 48 hours of your release. Again, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Okay? Thank you so much. Good luck.
Oh, okay, Papa.
Muchas gracias. Que pasó buen día.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, and then, Mr. Interpreter, I don't know, I can't see what's going on in the gallery at the jail, but I don't know if there's any witnesses that need your services. If you could just make an announcement for anyone who needs the Spanish interpreter, as a witness to raise their right hand.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
Esta pregunta es para las personas en el auditorio. Si usted va a ser un testigo, va a testificar y necesita un intérprete en español, levante la mano.
Do we know if anyone's raised their hand?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Interpreter, I appreciate your help.
You're welcome, Judge. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Call has, oh, that was the interpreter, okay. All right, please tell me your name.
Jada Anderson.
All right, Miss Anderson, you're here in 2020 CF 6870AO. You're charged with attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm, and unlawful discharge of a firearm. I do find probable cause for those offenses. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Attempted second-degree murder with a firearm is a life felony. It goes from a life back down to a first as an attempt, and then with a firearm, it's enhanced back to a life felony. Does the state wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. After an argument escalated to a physical altercation, the victim stated the defendant fired a gun at him as he was attempting to get away. Although she stated she fired the weapon in the air, the victim admitted to firing the gun. The weapon was obtained and entered into evidence. The state asked the court to find proof evident presumption great for attempted second-degree murder with a firearm and hold her at no bond.
The victim is here, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just hear from, I don't know if Ms. Mankey or Ms. Fowler are making any arguments.
Your Honor, we defer the matter to the court.
Okay, and there is a witness present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, can you state your name for me and then spell your last name?
Cedric Jones. Jones, Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones, Ms. Fusco, did you wish to inquire?
Yes. Mr. Jones, what is your relationship to Ms. Anderson?
My girlfriend.
Are you in fear that something like this could happen again if she's released?
No.
Do you want contact with her?
Yes.
In regard to contact, we'd ask for no contact, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't, can either one of you, okay, all right.
And it's me speaking.
Okay, all right, Ms. Feller, thank you. All right, Mr. Jones, is there anything that you wanted me to know in particular?
None of this should have never happened. I take full responsibility. Everything was my fault. And Jada, she really didn't fire that weapon at me. It was pointed in the air. So, and that's it.
Okay. All right. And has anything like this happened, or any violence like this happened, or any violence at all in your relationship in the past?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you live together?
She came down from Texas and she was staying with me.
Okay, so right now she is residing with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if she's intending on going back to Texas at any point?
She's just visiting because her birthday is tomorrow.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your testimony, Mr. Jones. I do appreciate it. In light of what I've read in the affidavit, I am going to order no contact with any victim or witness. So that can be changed in writing by another judge. So, Ms. Anderson, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order. Did you understand everything in the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I am going to order that you maintain a separate residence. So you can't live with Mr. Jones. You can go back one time with law enforcement should you need to do so, okay, and get any personal belongings. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Based on the affidavit, I do find proof evident presumption great. However, I am going to give you a bond based on the victim's testimony, as well as the fact that you have no criminal history whatsoever. Okay, so I am going to set your bond on count 1 at $15,000. Count 2 will be $150, and count 3 will be $150. And so if you can't make that bond, you'll have to have the public defender's office file a motion to reduce the bond for you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Jeanette Armand.
All right, Miss Armand, you're here in 2020 MM 3981AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery and resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there any witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Armand, I'm going to have you sign the no contact order form. I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. Do you understand everything contained in that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm also ordering that I don't believe you live together, so I'm ordering that you continue to maintain a separate residence, no weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you on pretrial release, so make sure that you comply with any conditions of release as well as theirs, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Delisa Delgado.
Okay, Ms. Delgado, you're here in 2020 MM 3982AO. It's a domestic violence battery, and I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Is there a witness present?
No.
Okay. Is that a no from?
Oh,
No?
there was no witness.
No, hold on. I'm asking the officers there if there's a witness. Okay?
No.
Thank you.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're ordered to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order form. And did you understand everything in that form, Ms. Delgado?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're also to maintain a separate residence from the victim. If you need to go back to the residence, you'll need to go with law enforcement. You can go one time to get personal belongings, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am going to place you on pretrial release. Make sure that you comply with my orders as well as their conditions. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name?
Jonas DeRonville.
All right, Mr. Duranville, you're here in 2020 CF 6862AO. You're charged with possession of synthetic cannabinoids. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. He's not qualifying for pretrial release, correct?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Duranville, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. Got to show up to court if you're required to go to court. Make sure that the public defender knows your address and how to get in touch with you, and your address is correct with the clerk's office in case you have to come to court. Make sure you get in touch with your attorney within 48 hours of your release. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Oppenheimer, she's medical.
Okay. All right, so I am going to appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you wish to waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's 2020 CF 6832AO. She was arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for burglary of a structure and petty theft. And I did appoint the public defender. I'm showing that she's out on bond on multiple cases, although the only case that I'm showing that looks like
These are add-on charges.
Okay. So there's no out on bond forms.
They're already been endorsed by the bondsman.
Okay, all right. Okay, so she's not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no contact with any victims, any witnesses, or any possible co-defendants. I am staying the bond at the 5,000 and the 500.
Okay, the next person on the docket, Your Honor, Juan Perez, behavior.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna find the behavior to be a waiver. It's 2020 CF 6844AO, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Perez. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. He's charged with throwing a deadly missile into a dwelling or a vehicle or an aircraft, battery on an officer, a firefighter, or an EMT, criminal mischief of $1,000 or more, and resisting an officer without violence. And I do find probable cause for those offenses. I did appoint the PD. It's not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No drugs, no alcohol, without a valid prescription, no contact with any victim or any witness, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. The bonds will stay set at 5,000, 2,500, 1,500, and 1,000.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Rivera Sanchez, behavior.
All right, I'm gonna find that behavior to be a waiver for Mr. Rivera Sanchez, and I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, did you wish to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's 2020 CF 6837AO. It's battery on a corrections officer. I do find probable cause. I did appoint the PD. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no contact with the victim, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 2,500. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Angel Luis Delgado.
All right, Mr. Delgado, you're here in 2020 MM 4004AO. You're charged with a violation of an emergency order as it relates to curfew and emergency power as to curfew, which is a county ordinance, I believe. And I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I don't know if the state will have an offer for you based on the charges to resolve your case, but we'll see.
Not today, Your Honor.
Okay, so the state's not making an offer today. So no contact with any witness or any of your co-defendants who are alleged in the affidavit. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Will he qualify for pretrial release?
He was not interviewed, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Delgado, I'm going to set your bond on count 1 at 500, count 2 500, or pretrial release if you qualify. So they're going to interview you. If you're able to get qualified, you may be released on pretrial release.
May I ask a question?
Sure. I don't want you to talk about anything that happened or did not happen. Okay?
On your previous statement, what does that mean? That I have to be eligible.
Well, they have to interview you. They have to find your community ties and see if that you'll qualify for their program.
Okay.
Okay, they haven't interviewed you yet. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Harris.
All right, Mr. Harris. You're here in 2020 MM 3996AO. It's trespassing and
I was
assault.
trespassing. I was working on my job.
Okay, I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case. That's not for today. If you have a defense, then you'll talk to your attorneys about that. So I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I don't know if the
How's it
state
gonna
will
be a
have an
probable
offer.
cause and I was working on
because
my
of the
job?
victim case.
How's it gonna be a
But
how you gonna
Mr.
find a
Harris, I
probable
need you
cause
to
and
be
I was working on
quiet.
my
If
job?
you cannot be quiet, then I'm going to have you removed from the courtroom.
I haven't been able to talk to the victim, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's been no victim contact, there's no offer today. I am ordering that you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. That's the 68 East Main Street Dahoot Smoke Shop. You're not to, you're to abide by the trespass warning, no contact with the victim in the case, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am going to stay the bond on count 1 at 500. Count 2, I'll reduce to 100. I'm not taking any action on the out on release case. It has not been filed on yet, but you do have an out on release case, sir. Make sure you keep in touch with your attorney on that case, okay?
Oh, release, what that mean? What does that mean?
Keep in touch with your attorney.
What do you mean? I'm released there something right now? Is that what you're saying?
Right, thank you.
Is I'm released? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Bitch. Oh, no.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Van Horn, TOT to Brevard County.
Okay, we'll take no action. Mr. Van Horn.
Ms. Dow.
She's mental health. Ms. Dow is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, so I will appoint the public defender for Ms. Dowell. Ms. Fowler, do you want to waive?
Your Honor.
Okay, so it's 2018 CF 5394. There's two things in the same case. It's a failure to appear for a status hearing. The bond was set at none on that for the failure to appear. And then there's also a violation of probation as well in the same case. The bond was also set at none. So she'll see Judge Whitehead, I believe, in the VOP in a couple days. And the bond will stay at none. All right. All right, good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Kenneth Jordan.
All right, Mr. Jordan. You're here in 2020 MO 614. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. Before I appoint the public defender, Ms. Fusco, did you have an offer to resolve the case today?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, court cost.
Okay, so Mr. Jordan, it's a credit for time served offer. Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you read the plea form before you came in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you understand everything contained in the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you understand all those rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. Order you pay your court costs by June 2nd, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I did not impose the public defender fee because you entered a plea and nobody's there to talk to you, so you won't have that additional cost, okay?
Yes, ma'am. So I get to go home today?
You do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Waters, is ROR.
Okay. I think that might have been one of the PC challenges, so we'll take no action. And that was administrative ROR?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's hard.
All right. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Deanna Day.
All right, Miss Day, it looks like you're here on a Lake County warrant. There's two cases on the docket, 19 CF 2459 and 2041. And the public defender here was previously appointed. One of the judges here contacted Lake County to see if they could get you a bond or to be released. And per Judge Singletary in Lake County, you're to be released ROR on those cases. So it's very important that you, the PD was appointed here, but I don't know about what's going on in Lake County. So I would find out, make sure that if you have any court dates, that you show up, because if you don't, you'll probably get a warrant and it'll probably be no bond. So make sure that you know where to go and who to talk to, okay?
So I'm ROR'd here and ROR'd in Lake County?
Does she have charges in Orange or was it just Lake?
She had charges in Orange, but they're RR as well.
Okay, so you've been, then you'll be released today.
You're awesome, thank you.
Okay, all right, good luck.
Come on, Miss Haney.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Jessica Haney.
Okay, Miss Haney, this is a status hearing for Polk County, case number 2020 CF 4027. I had this case on Friday. I'm not sure what happened. I did speak with Judge Carter and indicated that the bail amount was changed from 5,000 to 0 for some reason, and I don't know why, but Judge Jacobson signed an order in the 10th Circuit appointing the public defender for you there. So you do have the public defender's office in Polk County. And I just want to make sure corrections and also our paperwork is corrected to reflect the correct bond amount of $5,000. I'm not sure how it got changed. I don't believe I changed it on Friday because it was just on the docket as a status hearing. So you do have a $5,000 bond, okay?
Okay.
And you have the public defender in Polk County. All right? Okay.
So I can bond out here
Yes.
for $5,000.
Yes, or you contact a bondsman.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Corrections,
you.
will you make sure that that is corrected?
The bond is currently set at 5,000, Your Honor.
Okay, Judge Carter said it was set at none, so I'm not sure. Because we dealt with it on Friday, or Thursday or Friday last week, so I'm not sure. All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Morning, Shamari Pickford.
All right, Mr. Pickford, this is a status hearing for a Columbia County case 18 CT 01775. And here the public defender was previously appointed for you. Pursuant to Judge Coleman, your bond is to be set at $350.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you do have a bond. I don't know if you had a bond before, but
No, ma'am.
you do have a $350 bond. So make sure that you don't miss any court dates in Columbia County. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck. All right. Good morning. Can you tell me your name?
Tammy Lee Lucas.
Do we know what is Mr. Byers in line next, or I just had him out of order a little bit?
He's after the next person.
Okay. All right. So Miss Lucas.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case number 2020 CT 3320AO, and the public defender was previously appointed to represent you in your case. And it looks like you were charged by citation with driving under the influence.
Excuse me, Judge. I believe she's bonding on this case.
Okay. Well, I don't think we'd be able to resolve it anyway today. It's a DUI. It's a little more complicated. So we'll enter a plea of not guilty for Miss Lucas. Okay? Make sure you keep in touch with the public defender's office in case you need, I'm not sure. We're going to give you some dates just so that you have them. Okay?
But can I ask you something? I can't see because I don't have glasses. and I can't bond out because all my money's in my vehicle.
Well, they're telling me that you bonded already. So
Oh, okay.
we entered a plea of not guilty for you.
Okay.
And then we're gonna give you some dates so that you know when you need to come back to court.
Okay.
But make sure you ask your attorney because it may not be in person, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Division 61. Division 61, pretrial conference day is June 22nd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 6C.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Tanaris Lynn.
Mr. Lynn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Mr. Lynn, you're here in 2020 CT 3336AO. The PD was previously appointed in your case to represent you, and you are charged by citation with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Are you on probation?
Yes, ma'am.
You are? Okay. So we're not going to resolve your case today, okay? Ms. Fowler, did you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll give you some dates for your court hearing, okay?
Division 61, pretrial conference, June 22nd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 6C.
All right, thank you. All right, good morning. Tell me your name, sir.
Matthew Byers.
All right, Mr. Byers, you're here in 2020 MM 196AA, and the public defender was previously appointed in your case to represent you. The state did file an information in your case charging you with resisting an officer without violence. It's a misdemeanor of the first degree, alleged to have occurred on or about May 2nd, 2020. Are you on probation, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do we know if there's any related felony cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's a related felony case.
Okay, so, do you want to enter a plea of not guilty for Mr. Byers? Okay, Mr. Byers, the public defender here who's representing you is going to enter a plea of not guilty for you. We'll get you some dates, okay?
Okay.
Division 85, pretrial conference, July 13th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4A.
Good luck, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, ma'am. Robert Dixon.
All right, Mr. Dixon, you're here in case number 2020 CF 6872AO. You're charged with battery by strangulation, burglary of an occupied dwelling, and criminal mischief. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender. There's also an add-on as 2020 MM 4015AO. It's a violation of pretrial release condition on a domestic violence case. Do you find probable cause for that offense as well? And we'll appoint the public defender. Is there a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Dixon, you already have a no contact order in place. I'm going to have you sign another one. Make sure you understand everything contained within it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand it?
Yes. Is my public defender around?
They're in court with me.
Can I say something to them, ma'am?
I don't want you to talk about the facts of
No.
your case.
Nothing
So-
about the facts. I was arrested at my home that you guys gave me permission to live at. And I tried to tell.
Well, you're starting to talk about the
Okay.
facts of the
Sorry.
case, but I can tell you now that you can live at your residence so long as the victim's not present. So you
That-
cannot have contact with the
That's my
victim.
point. She came to my place and I
Okay,
got.
well, that's a defense that you may have,
Okay.
but that's not going to be discussed today.
Your
Yes,
Honor, I would
ma'am.
advise him not to
Yes.
speak about the facts anymore.
That your attorney's telling you not to talk about anything, and I've told you as well.
Yes, yes,
Okay?
ma'am. I understand.
So, Mr. Dixon, again, you're to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim Have you signed the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you understand everything contained within that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You're not to, it looks like there's different residences here.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold, I don't want you to talk, sir. Hold on. I think the order that you're referencing, which I did see, the indication in that prior order said that you are only to communicate by phone, email, or contact concerning the lease. That's in the court order from the last hearing when you saw Judge Duckworth. Okay, so that was a specific condition that he allowed you to have only contact by phone, email, or anything concerning the lease. I'm changing that to no contact, okay? So make sure that you understand that it's no contact, not even as it relates to the lease. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
bond on count 1 for the battery is $2,500, count 2 is $5,000, and count 3 is $100. As it relates to the misdemeanor, it's $2,500. You're also out on release, the same victim. In 2 cases, you have 2 cases. I'm revoking in 2020 CF 5225 AO. I'm not revoking in the other case. So your attorneys will have to file a motion to set bond for you in that case, okay?
Ma'am, could I not state a fact, but
I don't want you to talk about the facts of your case.
where-
If you have a defense, you'll need to contact your attorney. They can file any appropriate motions with the judge in your case. Ms. Fowler, did you want to let him know anything?
Your Honor, I would just advise him again not to talk about the facts of the case.
no, I
He
understand.
say, and the court can be used against you.
No, yes, I understand that, and I wasn't trying to state any facts of the case, but
Well, you did before when you told me that you weren't going to. You said that you were arrested at your house, and so you did say things that are incriminating.
so where do I live if you guys gave me that address?
I can't tell you that. You have to contact your attorneys. Nobody gave you an address. There's no court order telling you where to live or not live. I think you are misunderstanding.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So okay.
Mark? Mr. Mark? Michael?
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Michael Mark.
And there is a victim in the booth, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Mark, you're here in 2020 CF 6799AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. It's domestic violence. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Would the witness please raise their right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you state your name for me and spell your last name?
My name is Crystal DeJesus, DeJesus.
All right, Ms. DeJesus, how do you know Mr. Mark?
We're together and we live together.
Okay, are you afraid of him?
No, I'm not afraid of him.
Do you want to have contact with him through the pending of the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Has there been any violence in your relationship in the past?
No, this is the first time.
Do you think drugs or alcohol had any involvement in what happened?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Fusco, do you have any additional questions?
So the prior arrest for domestic violence was not as you as the victim?
Excuse me?
There's a prior arrest for domestic violence. You were not the victim in that case?
No, ma'am.
And do you have any concerns as you're pregnant as to any risks to the pregnancy?
No, I do not have any concerns.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms.
Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. DeJesus. However, I am going to order no contact today, and that can be changed in writing by the judge assigned to the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order form, Mr. Mark. Do you understand everything contained in the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am, but this is my first kid. I just want to be there. I don't want to miss out on no appointments.
I understand, and that the no contact order can be changed, must be changed in writing. Appears as though she's 2 months pregnant, so there's quite a ways before she's about to give birth or anything like that. So you'll need to contact your attorneys. They'll have to file a motion. You indicated to me that you understood everything contained in that form, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return to the victim's residence. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Ms. DeJesus, I don't believe you live together, correct? I'm showing different addresses.
Yeah, that's the address I am now.
Okay, but you're not living together.
I left there yesterday.
You left.
Yes, ma'am. But we live together.
Okay, I'm ordering that you maintain separate residences. So you're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Does Mr. Mark qualify for pretrial release?
Your Honor, he didn't qualify for pretrial release. He also was served with a warrant this morning.
Okay, all right. So I'll set the bond at $2,500. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. DeJesus, for your testimony. All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jordan McGuire.
All right, Mr. McGuire, you're here in 2020 CF 6856AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic violence. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Do we have a witness present?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm ordering, Mr. McGuire, that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any witnesses. I'll have you sign the no contact order form, please. Do you understand everything contained in that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're to maintain a separate residence. Do you need to go back to the residence to get personal belongings?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll let you go back with law enforcement. You got to be with law enforcement if you're going to go back to the residence to
Yes,
get
ma'am.
anything, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And does he not qualify for pretrial release?
He did not qualify, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm setting your bond at $2,500.
Excuse me, ma'am, Your Honor. What if my stuff has already been picked up?
Well, you can go back with law enforcement to see. I'm just putting it in the order. I don't know where your things are, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning. Anurata Medley Turner.
Okay, Ms. Turner, you're here in 2020 CF 6874AO. You're arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can I have the witness raise their right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you state your name for me and spell your last name?
Yes, Christina Butler, Butler.
All right, Miss Butler, how do you know Miss Turner?
It's my wife.
Okay, and you all how long have you been together?
2 years.
You live together?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And are you afraid of her?
No.
You want to have continued contact with her through the pending of the case?
Long as it's not hostile. Yes.
Okay. Are you afraid that there will be hostile contact?
No.
Has any violence happened in your relationship in the past?
Yes.
And how recently was that?
Within a year. Not yet. About a year, 6 months maybe. I don't know.
6 months to a year ago?
Yeah.
Were you arrested or was she arrested?
The both of us.
Okay. Do you think drugs or alcohol had any involvement in the case?
No, Your Honor.
And so you're telling me that you're not in fear of her?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Fusco, did you have any additional questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Based on the fact that there seems to be prior history not that long ago, I am going to order no contact today. I'll have you sign the no contact order form, and that can be changed in writing by a judge, so you'll have to contact your attorneys to file a motion in the case. Do you understand everything contained in that form, Ms. Turner?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You do live together, so I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence. If you need to go back, you have to go with law enforcement to get any personal belongings, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And she was not interviewed, correct?
She qualifies for PTR, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to place you on pretrial release. You won't have to post a bond. Make sure that you comply with my conditions as well as theirs, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for your testimony, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Good morning. It's Herman Quinney.
Quinny?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Quinney, you're here in 2020 CF 6845AO. It's battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Do we have a witness present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can I have the witness raise their right hand to be sworn in? And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you state your name for me and spell your last name?
My name is Brittany Cannon. My last name is spelled Cannon.
All right, Miss Cannon. And how do you know Mr. Quinney?
He's my boyfriend.
And you all live together?
Yes.
Okay. And are you afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have continued contact with him through the pending of this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has any violence occurred in your relationship in the past?
No, ma'am.
And I have a note here that he is going back to Michigan and that he lives in Michigan. Is that your understanding?
His parents do live in Michigan, and they are coming up with a plan for him to come back up there.
Okay.
I'm planning on moving to. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Please go forward. Tell me what you wanted to say.
I'm moving back to Melbourne on Friday, so I'm leaving this place anyway, and I'm trying to figure out like a friend's house or something I can stay at until Friday.
Okay.
So.
Do you think any drugs or alcohol had any involvement in what happened?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I don't know if I asked this already, but has there been any violence in your relationship in the past?
No, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Fusco, did you have any additional questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Cannon, for your testimony. I am going to order no contact today, Mr. Quinney, so I'm going to have you sign the no contact order form, and that can be changed in writing by a judge. So did you understand everything contained in that no contact order?
I get it anyway, right? Yeah. Okay. So yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
You understand? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. So I don't know who's living where. So what I'm going to do is put in the order that if you need to go back to the residence and she's still present, you must go with law enforcement. Okay. I would, on the safe side, I would go with them anyway. If she's not there, you can stay at the residence. If she goes to the residence to stay, or she comes to the residence, you cannot be there. Do you understand?
Right. So I have a question about changing. On the bottom, it said that if I had any questions or anything, I have to appear in court for it
If
to
you
change?
want to change, yeah, if you want to change the no contact order,
Mhm.
your attorneys will file a motion, or you can write the judge a letter, but that will need to be changed in writing by a judge.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And he does not qualify for pretrial release because he's on pretrial intervention in Brevard. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to set the bond at $1,500. Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. All right. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Jose A. Quinones Jr.
All right, Mr. Quinones, you're here in 2020 CF 67978. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I will appoint the public defender. Do we have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Quinones, I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I believe that's your grandson, so no contact. It'll need to be changed in writing by a judge. Do you understand everything contained in the form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll have you sign that form, please. Are you believe that you're all living together, so I am going to order that you maintain a separate residence. If the victim's not present at the residence, you can live there. If the victim is present, you cannot be at the residence until it's changed in writing by a judge, okay? You're not, if you need to go back to get personal belongings, you can go with law enforcement one time to get anything that you need, okay? No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. I do note that the Department of Children and Families was contacted, so they may have an investigation. I don't know, but if they do, you'll comply with that investigation.
Yes.
And does he qualify for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's correct. And I'm going to place you in pretrial release, okay?
I had one question.
Sure. Don't
He's-
talk about
he's-
the facts of anything, okay?
Okay. He's no longer living in my house.
And like I said, if he's not present at the residence, you can stay and be at the residence. If he comes to the residence, you have to leave, okay?
I understand.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good morning, or
Morning, Your Honor.
afternoon, I should say. And tell me your name, please.
Brian Robertson.
All right, Mr. Robertson, you're here in 2020 CF 6798AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery, domestic violence. Did you find probable cause? And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Do we have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I am ordering, Mr. Robertson, that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any witnesses. So I'll have you sign the no contact order form, please. Did you understand everything contained in the no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So also you're to maintain a separate residence. If you need to go back to the residence, you must do so with law enforcement. You can go back one time to get personal belongings. You may not possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I am going to place you in the pretrial release program. Make sure that you comply with my requirements as well as theirs, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, good morning or afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Jeremy Moody.
All right. Mr. Moody, you're here in 2020 MM3998AO. It's a domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Do we have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
No? Okay. So, Mr. Moody, I am going to order you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I know the victim is your brother, but you can't have contact until it's changed in writing by a judge, okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
So I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything in that no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so I do see that you're living together. I'm gonna order that you also maintain a separate residence. So if the victim's at the residence, you know, you can't be there.
Moved out
If you
already,
need to
Your
go
Honor.
back, okay, but if the person's moved out, then you can stay there. Okay, you just can't be there at the same time.
Yeah, he
And
moved
then
out
if-
last night.
Okay, if for some reason he's there, and I'll put it in the order that you need to go back with law enforcement to get personal belongings. It'll be in there just in case and an abundance of caution. All right. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply with all my orders as well as their conditions. Okay.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Michelangelo Prudhomme.
All right, Mr. Prudhomme, you're here in 2020 MM 4016AO. It's a battery, domestic violence, and resisting an officer without violence. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Do we have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Prudhomme, I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order form, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything in the form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence. Should you need to go back to the residence, you'll need to go with law enforcement one time to get any personal belongings that you may need. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And does he qualify for pretrial release or?
He did not qualify, Your Honor.
Okay. The bond will be set at 500 on count 1, 100. I'll reduce count 2 to 100. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, or good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Clark Stewart.
All right, Mr. Stewart, you're here in 2020 MM 4000 AO. It's a domestic violence battery, and I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Do we have a witness present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order form. Do you understand everything in the no contact order?
I do. It's my sister lives there. I need to get my truck and my things.
We'll get there, okay? I just need to make sure you understand everything that's in the form.
Okay.
So it'll have to be changed in writing by a judge if you're going to have any contact, okay? Can't have contact until it's changed in writing. So I'm ordering that you maintain separate residences. I'll give you the opportunity to go back there with law enforcement to get anything that you need. All right, you must be with law enforcement though. That'll be in the court order. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And you do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in pretrial release. You won't have to post a monetary bond. Just make sure you comply with my conditions as well as theirs, all right?
That's right. So
All right, good luck.
Pretrial release, what does that mean?
Yes.
Mr. Clark, is behavior, Your Honor?
Okay, I had Barnett next.
He bonded.
Okay. We'll take no action on Mr. Barnett. And then Mr. Clark, you said his behavior?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so find his behavior to be a waiver. And I'll appoint the public defender. And then Miss Fowler, did you want to waive Mr. Clark's appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so he's charged, I don't know if I said it already, 2020 CF 6802 with burglary of a structure, a violation of the curfew, emergency order, and disorderly conduct. I don't find probable cause for there's a C supplement, so I don't find probable cause for count 1. There's nothing in there about this individual. There's about the co-defendant, and then it says C Officer Cintrone's supplement as to this defendant. So I'm having a PC issue as to count 1. I find probable cause as to count 2 and 3.
I have 24 hours to supplement, Your Honor.
Absolutely, but there is a bond on count 1, and which will stay. The bond will stay on count 1 at $3,500. Count 2, the bond will be $500. Count 3, $100. And no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. I'm also adding the condition of pretrial release along with the bonds. And so we'll reset for PCS to count 1, but the bond will stay.
Is the bond as to count 2 again, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
I think I said 500.
Thank you.
Jonathan Cross is also behavior.
All right, and I'll appoint the public defender for Mr. Cross. Ms. Fowler, did you wish to waive his appearance?
Your Honor.
All right, it's 2020 CF 6864AO. It's carrying concealed firearm and battery. And I do find probable cause for those offenses. I did appoint the PD, so he's not to return back to the Lopez Boxing Gym at 4709 Distribution Court number 3. No contact with any victims or witnesses. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and abide by the trespass warning. And the bonds will stay. Was he interviewed?
Yes, Your Honor, he does not qualify.
Does not qualify. All right. The bonds will stay at $2,500 and $100.
Mr. Witt is medical.
Okay. And so I'm not going to reset Ms. DeWitt. I'm going to appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So this is 2020 CF 4671AO. She was arrested pursuant to a capias. The state did file an information charging her with petty theft, 2 prior convictions. And so she has a bond of $1,500. If she's interviewed and qualifies for pretrial release, I would add that it would be bond or pretrial release. So she's not to return back to the Dollar Tree at 910 Lee Road, and no contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jason W. Gamble. Jason Wilbur Gamble.
Good. All right, Mr. Gamble, you're here in 2020 CF 6860AO. Count 1 is carrying concealed weapon by a convicted felon, and then count 2 through count, looks like 43 is a possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and then you've got criminal mischief as count 44. And I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. So no, I believe neighbors, so no return back to your neighbor's residence, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. And he does not qualify for pretrial?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So the bond will stay set at $5,150 on each additional count, and count 44 will stay set at the 100. Okay?
Can I say one thing?
I don't want you to talk about the facts, Mr. Gamble. So if you want to talk about what happened or didn't happen, it's not a good idea.
Not going to do that. We just want to just basically clarify so that way we can maybe probably go ahead and resolve those possession counts. As
Can't resolve anything today because they're felonies.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so an information would have to be filed, so the state will have to make a charging decision. Okay. But I did appoint the public defender, so if you have defenses or you want to talk to them about your case, you'll have to call the number that they're going to give you on that piece of paper. Okay? If you can't make your bond, they'll file a bond motion for you. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Garcia's hospital.
Okay, so Mr. Garcia, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Garcia. Ms. Fowler, do you wish to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's 2020 CF 6858AO. He's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You do find probable cause for that offense, and I did appoint the PD. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no contact with any victims or witnesses, and no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. I believe that is the T-Mobile or the mobile gas station at 1901 Telaucus Avenue. And the bond will stay set at the $2,500. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Frank David Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, you're here in 2020 CF 6852AO. You are charged with attempted burglary of a dwelling. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You do have reporting requirements, so I do have to advise you of that. If you have questions about that, then I'm sure somebody there can explain that to you. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, so don't go back to that residence. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victims or witnesses. Based on the criminal history here, I'm changing the bond. It'll be $5,000.
$1,000 to change to $5,000.
You have a $5,000 bond, sir.
It was $1,000.
I changed it
What you change it for?
based on your criminal history and the facts of the case.
Else?
Mr. Hale refused, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Hale is here in 2020, or not here, 2020 CF 6854. I find his refusal to be a waiver, and I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you wish to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm confused whether the count one is an attempt or a burglary, because they say attempt in the affidavit on the bottom, but charged it as a burglary, and the evidence suggests that he was already in the vehicle. So I'm not really sure. I think it's a burglary, not an attempt. The officer only wrote attempt at the bottom, but he says did enter a conveyance with the intent to commit the crime. So it was charged as burglary, not attempt, but then bond is set at $1,000. So I'm a little confused.
The third sentence down said he had been inside the vehicle.
Yeah, I'm saying he's was seen inside the vehicle. So, I mean,
They also recovered fingerprints.
well, we don't know if they matched the defendant. He was seen in the vehicle, so it's a little confusing as to whether it's an attempt or a burglary. But I'm going to find that the officer wrote burglary in the affidavit and then put attempt. But I'll stay the bond at $1,000, so really shouldn't be much of an issue. The state will charge whatever it deems is appropriate if they're going to charge anything. So no return back to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses. The bonds will stay at $1,000 and $100. I'm not taking any action on the out on release trespass, excuse me. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Richmond Huey.
All right, Mr. Huey, you're here in 2020 CF 6125AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in that case. The bond will stay set at the 10,000. In 2020 MM 137AE, you're charged with resisting an officer without violence. So I do find probable cause for that offense, and I'll appoint the public defender. I don't know if Ms. Fusco has an offer.
He's on probation, Your Honor.
Okay, that's right. I'm sorry. I realized that. So we're not going to resolve that today, Mr. Huey, because you're on probation, so that bond will stay at $500, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck. Thanks, Courtney. Sorry, I missed that one. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
William Lane?
All right, Mr. Lane. You're here in 2020 CF 6803. You're arrested for burglary of a structure, violation of the emergency order as it relates to curfew and disorderly conduct. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any victims or witnesses or any co-defendants in the case.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
And don't talk about the facts of anything, okay? Today's not the day for that. They're going to give you a piece of paper to call your attorney. I'd advise that you don't say anything today. Okay, you do qualify for pretrial release, so I'm going to release you to pretrial release. So make sure that you comply with my court order as well as their conditions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Scott McKinney.
Mr. McKinney, you're here in 2020 CF 6863AO. You're arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to release you ROR. Make sure you get in touch with your attorney within 48 hours of your release. They know how to get in touch with you, and everybody has your correct address in case they file charges and you need to come to court. Okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Linda?
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Leander Melendez.
All right, Mr. Melendez, you're here in 2020 CF 6855AO. You're arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I'll appoint the public defender. So you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. I know that I believe that the victim is alleged to be your grandfather. So at this point, you're not to have any contact with your grandfather. If you're living with him, you're going to have to maintain a separate residence. So I'll let you go back one time with law enforcement if that's where you're living. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you'll have to have your attorneys file a motion to change that in writing as it relates to any contact. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Does he qualify for pretrial release?
He did not qualify. I spoke with his emergency contact. They were able to verify that he's not working, but they don't want him to return to the residence.
Okay. All right, Mr. Melendez, I'm going to release you ROR. You must go to court if you're required to go to court. If you don't, you're just going to get a warrant. It's probably going to be no bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So make sure you follow all of my conditions. I'm ordering that you get in touch with your attorney, Gesundheit. I'm ordering that you get in touch with your attorney within 48 hours of your release. So call the phone number on that piece of paper that they're going to give you. Make sure everybody knows how to get in touch with you. Okay, and that you have an address to give to them,
Yes, ma'am.
or a phone number or something. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Janai Scott. Good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Scott, you're here in 2020 CF 6835AO. You're charged with burglary of a structure or conveyance, and it's armed. And so I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. It is a punishable by life felony because it's armed. Does the state wish to be heard?
Just a second, Your Honor.
May I speak, Your Honor?
I would not. I would advise you that anything that you say is going to be used against you.
Yes,
Okay, so today's not the day for that. I know you want to talk, but it's not a good idea. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So they're going to give you a piece of paper when we're done here, and you can call your attorney. All right,
Yes,
and then that you can tell them what you want to say.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just ask the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, and to find proof evident or presumption great, and hold him at no bond.
Okay. Ms. Fowler.
Your Honor, we defer the matter to the court on the issue of proof evident, presumption great, but to ask the court to take into consideration his lack of criminal history.
All right, so I do find proof evident, presumption great. However, I am going to give you a bond, Mr. Scott. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not going to hold you at no bond. I am first gonna, before I get to the bond, you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victims, any witnesses, or any co-defendants, and you may not possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition. I am gonna set your bond at $10,000. And I'm not going to revoke the pretrial release in the other case. I want you to keep reporting to pretrial release if you're reporting.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So don't miss any court. Don't get arrested, because if you have 2 cases and you're out on release and one's a pretty serious offense, then you may be sitting in jail with no bond. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck.
Your Honor, Bobby Sims refused.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so Mr. Sims refused to come to court. I find his refusal to be a waiver. I'll appoint the public defender in 2020 CF 1366AO. Ms. Fowler, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so he was arrested pursuant to a capias. The state filed an information. Looks like this was a refile. Charging him with robbery with subsequent force and battery, and probable cause was previously found. No return to the scene, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victims or witnesses, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And I am staying the bond on count 1 at the $15,000, count 2 at $500. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Billy Ray Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're here in 2020 CF 6819AO. You're charged by a warrant, and probable cause was found for sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a community center, and possession of cocaine. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. So no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no return back to that area as named in the warrant.
Your
And
Honor,
the bond, Yes, I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case or anything, or what you think happened or didn't happen, or if it's not you.
No, I
Okay.
wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that, when they served the warrant to me yesterday, they didn't give me no paperwork as far as what the charges were or any
Okay, well,
affidavit.
I can't give you the paperwork because I'm in a completely different building. I don't know if anybody over there can print the warrant out for you. But if not, you can call the phone number on that piece of paper and somebody can get you that paperwork from the public defender's office if they're not able to provide you with a copy of the warrant, the affidavit, okay? Can anybody over there provide him with a copy of it?
I'll give him a copy, yeah.
Okay, so they'll give you a copy, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna state the bond at the 1,500, the 1,000, and the 500. And there is one bond that I could revoke actually, and I don't know why I don't have an out on bond form for that case, but I'm not taking any action on that case. You have quite a bit of cases out there.
Yes, ma'am.
So
That's
I'll, listen to me.
yes, ma'am.
If you come back and a judge or I see all of these cases pending and you have another case, chances are it's not gonna be a good day for you, Mr. Smith,
No, ma'am.
all right?
So, ma'am, do I on the case that I was out on bond for, I'm still have a bond for that?
Yeah, I'm not revoking your release.
He's already-
You have multiple cases.
He's already in on that case. It's no bond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
that-
you have no bond.
That's
Okay.
what I was asking about. That's the only
Okay,
reason why I wasn't.
yeah. So you have no bond. Thank you for clarifying that, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Jonathan Randall Tinch.
All right, Mr. Tench, you're here in 2020 CF 6853AO. You're arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm and another count of aggravated assault with a firearm. And I do find probable cause and I'll appoint the public defender. So no contact with any victims or witnesses. I know that it's your neighbors, so no, you can't go to your neighbor's house, okay? And no weapons or firearms or any ammunition, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So just stay away from them.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do qualify for pretrial release. So I'm going to release you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with my conditions of release as well as theirs, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want you to talk about what
No,
happened.
I do have my own lawyer. You were giving me a public defender. I do have my own lawyer. It's gonna be Hugo
who's-
Bobian.
Okay. Do we know if Mr. DeBobian filed a notice of appearance yet, or?
I got a hold of Bart Valdez.
Okay. I don't know if they filed a notice of appearance, but I'm releasing you today.
Thank you.
So I won't appoint the public defender.
Okay,
If for
thank you.
some reason that they don't file a notice of appearance, then you may want to ask the court to appoint somebody or you find an attorney. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So I won't appoint the PD for you.
All right. Thank you.
Is this his case? Okay. So I'm going to cross off the point. Oh, you want to do it? No. Okay. So. All right, please tell me your name.
David Cazares.
All right, Mr. Cazares, you're here in 2020 MM 4007AO. You're arrested for loitering or prowling and a violation of the curfew. And so I do find probable cause and I don't know if the court or the state has an offer for you to resolve your case.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will appoint the public defender. You cannot return back to the 8201 International Drive. Don't go back there. No contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, and no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I am going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Trayvon Easterlin.
All right, Mr. Easterling, you're here in 2020 MM 4002AO. It's a violation of the curfew order. and the emergency management power curfew as to the county. And so I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender's office. I don't know if the state's making offers on these.
No, Your Honor.
So, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victims, or excuse me, any witnesses or any co-defendants, and no weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond on count 1 will be $500 and $100 on count 2. I'm not revoking your release on the driving, on the Dwillis charges. So I don't know if you have any upcoming court dates, Mr. Easterling, but does he have the PD in that case? It doesn't say on the form. No. Do you know if you have the public defender? No? Okay. Do you want me to appoint the PD in the other case for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll appoint the PD in the driving case for you. Make sure that you call them and find out if you have any upcoming court dates. Keep in touch with them, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I do it often.
$100 to a bondsman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck. All right. Please tell me your name.
Dave Freeze.
All right, Mr. Freeze, you're here in 2020 MM 4006AO. It's carrying concealed weapon and disorderly conduct. I find PC for count 1. I don't find probable cause for count 2. There's nothing in here about disorderly.
Your Honor, rather than get the supplement, in this case, we would just ask if the court would allow count 1 to go forward and ROR as to count 2.
Okay. So I don't find probable cause for count 2. I'm going to ROR on count 2 as it relates to count 1. No weapons or firearms or ammunition. Okay. And you do qualify for pretrial release, so I'm going to release you on pretrial release.
That's all. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Brandon Gueron.
All right, Mr. Gueron, you're here in 2020 MM 4008AO. You were arrested for loitering or prowling in a violation of the curfew order. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Fusco, are you making any offers on these?
No, Your Honor.
So it's no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants, and you do qualify for pretrial release, Mr. Gueron, so I'm going to release you to pretrial release.
Okay.
Luck.
I do have a question.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Albert Grant.
Mr. Grant, you're here in 2020 MM 4003AO. It's a violation of the curfew order and emergency power of the emergency management power curfew of the county. And so I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. I don't believe Ms. Fusco has any offers to resolve these cases today. So the conditions of your release are you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no drugs or alcohol, no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply with the court's order as well as their conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Lizardo?
Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Leandro Lizardo.
All right, Mr. Lizardo, you're here in 2020 MM 4005AO. You were arrested for violation of the curfew and the emergency management power curfew as the county. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. The state's not making offers on these today, so we won't resolve it. No return to the scene, no weapons or firearms or ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no contact with any witnesses or your co-defendants as named in the affidavit. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to release you on pretrial release, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Nishan Joseph.
All right, you're here in 2020 MM 4001AO. It's a violation of the emergency curfew order and the emergency management power curfew of the county. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. There's not going to be offers today on these cases. So no return, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants. And he does not qualify for pretrial release, correct?
He qualifies, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to release you to pretrial release. Is your last name Nishan or Joseph? Okay, they have it reversed. But Mr. Joseph, you have 8 failures to appear, the last being in 2019. So you need to make sure you show up to court if you have to go to court. Otherwise, you're going to get a warrant and you're probably going to be sitting in jail, no bond. All right. So make sure that you show up to court when they give you that court date, or you keep in touch with your attorney so you know what to do.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Quinones is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, and I'll appoint the public defender for Mr. Quinones in 2020 MM 3999AO. And Ms. Fowler, did you want to formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and we would probably not be resolving it today anyway because it's a victim crime. So it's criminal mischief, and I do find probable cause. I did appoint the PD. It was waived. No return to the scene, no contact with any witnesses or victims, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. The bond will stay at the $250,000. Was he wasn't interviewed? I'll do or pretrial release if he qualifies.
He has a fugitive warrant out of Colorado.
Okay, so he would not qualify. Okay, so the bond will stay at the $250,000. All right, and tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Cassius Uel Mogami Malcolms.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolms. You're here on a Highlands County warrant, and the judge in Highlands County did set your bond at none. So I'm going to appoint the public defender here. They're not transporting people just yet. And so a judge here is going to contact the judge in Highlands County and see if they're going to agree to give you a bond or release you in some other form. So that's the number for the public defender. You'll probably be back on the docket here in a couple days. Okay, so we'll see you back here in a couple days, and they're going to reach out to Highlands County for you. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Please tell me your name.
Good afternoon, Stephen Rowland.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Rowland. You're here on a Martin County warrant. You do have bonds set at $25,000 on each count. And so you have a total of a $50,000 bond. If you're able to bond out, you can bond out. I'm going to appoint the public defender here to represent you in the meantime because they're not transporting people just in case you can't bond out. And then one of the judges, if you haven't bonded out, one of the judges here should be reaching out to Martin County to see if that bond would get reduced. Okay? So we might see you back here in a couple days.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? If you haven't bonded out.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning or afternoon.
Or good afternoon. I don't know what time it is. Sorry.
I know. Time stands still over there. So, are you Mr. Mobley?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay, Mr. Mobley, this is a reset from yesterday with Judge Carter as to probable cause in 2020 CF 6792AO, and you were charged with falsely impersonating an officer and carrying a concealed weapon. And the state did provide the court with probable cause, sworn statements under oath, and a photograph. And I believe the state provided that to the public defender here as well. Okay, and so after reading the affidavits, I do find probable cause for those two offenses. And I think the public defender was previously appointed yesterday already, yes, by Judge Carter. So what I'm going to do is order that you're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition. If you have any weapons or any firearms or any ammunition, you'll need to surrender them to law enforcement within 12 hours of any release from the Orange County Jail. Count one, the bond will stay at the 1,000. Count two, it'll stay at the 100. And does he have any other holds?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Is it a VOP?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They haven't hit me yet.
He's been served.
I'm sorry?
He's been served with the Armview VOP. He'll be back to IE's tomorrow.
Okay.
I haven't been
Judge,
yet. I haven't got
Judge Carter, we'll see you tomorrow on that one, okay?
One question. When I get served, are the counties transporting? Because my
No, but
VOP's out of Alachua, so.
we'll address it tomorrow, but
Okay.
the PD here would be appointed, and then we would contact that county.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
You can throw that sticky out. I just.
The board?
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Aiden Laboy Gutierrez, ma'am.
All right, Mr. LaBoy, you're here in 2012 CF 10563. There's a bunch of zeros, and 0000. But I don't think that's the case number. Oh, I guess it is. 105630000. It's a lot of numbers. So you were arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of probation, and the judge in your case did set your bond at none. And so I'm going to appoint the public defender. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. And so Judge Whitehead will see you in a couple days, okay? If you have questions, you can call the public defender.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day. That's too many zeros.
Your Honor, can we pass by Miss Alicia?
Sure.
Miss,
And Kevin Barlow bonded,
he's
and then,
trial released.
okay, so Barlow was released pretrial release and administrative, and then Cardona Cruz,
ROR.
that was administrative ROR.
Paul Clark is behavior.
Okay, I'm gonna address Mr. Clark. So this is one of the ones, 2020 MO 611. I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is a disorderly conduct, and I have no probable cause. It's one sentence, and then it says see supplement. And so I know that, Ms. Fowler, you did give me a piece of paper raising some probable cause challenges, and then Ms. Fusco indicated that you were unable to get that documentation. You were not requesting 24 hours.
Correct. We're just asking the court for ROR on, there's a series of them under the same agency case number with the only charge is disorderly conduct.
Okay, so I'm gonna find that there's no probable cause for the disorderly conduct and ROR, and the state's not asking for that to be reset. I'm not taking any action on the other case.
We have Miss Alicia.
Okay, thank you. All right, tell me your name, please.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Monica Eliana Alicia.
All right, ma'am, you're here in 2020 MO 608. You were arrested for disorderly conduct, and I'm appointing the public defender. They've raised a probable cause challenge. I also find that there's no probable cause based on the affidavit. It's one sentence and then says, please see supplement. So, Ms. Fusco, you're not You've indicated you're not asking for the additional time.
Correct, Your Honor.
So I am going to not find PC and release you on your own recognizance. I don't know if the state will charge you or not, but make sure that you keep in touch with the public defender's office. And if you do have to go to court, you do show up, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. That's all. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.
Ms. Silva bonded.
All right, that was one of the PC challenges that Ms. Fowler had, so we'll take no action on that.
Ms. Gordon bonded also.
Okay, that was same thing. Take no action. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon. Purity Mind Game.
Okay. You're here in 2020 MO 615. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. And again, this is one of these affidavits that doesn't even say, oh, it does say C supplement. So that's all I've got. So Ms. Fowler, I'm appointing the public defender and the state's not asking for any additional time. So no PC based on what's in the affidavit. I'm going to release you ROR. Make sure you keep in touch with the public defender. If you got to show up to court, make sure you don't miss any court dates, okay? And I'm not taking any action on the out on release case. Make sure you keep in touch with your attorney in that case if you have an attorney in Osceola, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, Ms. Patterson bonded.
Okay, thank you. We'll take no action. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Cornelius Rembert.
All right, Mr. Rembert, you're here in 2020 MO 617. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. I don't find probable cause based on what's in the affidavit, and I'm going to appoint the public defender. You got to keep in touch with them. I'm going to release you ROR today.
Yes.
Don't miss court if you have to be in court. I'm not taking any action on the other case, or cases, I should say. Keep in touch with your attorneys on those cases as well. Don't miss court, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Stay home when you're supposed to be home.
Yes, ma'am. God bless America.
Mr. Thomas?
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Malachi Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you're here in 2020 MO 618. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. Based on what's in the affidavit, I don't find probable cause. It's one sentence and then C supplement. And so I'll appoint the public defender. And Ms. Fusco, the state here is not asking for any additional time to get probable cause. So I'm going to release you ROR. They're going to give you a phone number for the public defender.
Thank you.
Stay home when you're supposed to be home, okay? It's not
Yes.
going to be fun to get arrested, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then we have Mr. Williams. The only one I have. He bonded? Okay, so we'll take no action on Mr. Williams. And then,
Just the 33-day motion.